Hello, gamers. Good evening, and welcome back to Season 5 of the Cobalt Wins League. Tonight, we begin our coverage of Week 2 from the 2nd Division with a set of 2 games between old rivals, Samsung Black and Sacred Phoenix. Later on, we will move to Division 1 to catch the end of the set between Jacinto 6699 and ShipX United. Now, Week 1 did not go great for the side of SSB. They lost both games to Surely in the CWL Mod Match season opener. Now in Week 2, the team is surely very hungry to end their losing streak and secure their first win of the season. In the other corner of the rift, Silver Phoenix successfully claimed both Nexi in their Week 1 matchup against KVM Gaming. Top laner Griffin went 12-2-10 on Camille and Ornn, and the team was able to cruise to a win in their second game in under 27 minutes. They look to begin a win streak tonight, but first, they must get past the early game of Samsung Black. My name is Crewman. I'm joined in the CWL studio tonight by Podslam, and we are now ready to begin Week 2. Into the draft we go, Pods.
Yeah, looking at some of these picks and bans already, Amumu, Xayah, 2 incredibly strong bot lane characters. You can run Amumu in the jungle, but we have seen a lot of him played support. And both of these teams throwing a lot of bans towards this bot side. 3 total bot side bans out of Sacred Phoenix, and then even Samsung throwing one with the Morgana. But first picks coming out very quickly from both sides. Sejuani nearly insta-locked, and then the Ornn going to be picked up for Samsung. Samsung, with that hover of that Trundle, they are looking for a very beefy top side, but actually going to switch it over to the Diana, so she can still be, depending on how she builds, a little bit tanky, but definitely not the same amount of tankiness as a Trundle.
Yeah, Silver Phoenix on the blue side, of course, for this first game, and choosing to leave open Kevin's Ornn. A very bold choice indeed. They must have some kind of plan to try and keep the Ornn down, try and prevent the side of Samsung from getting to those late game team fights. You know, they do have quite a bit of hefty front line for themselves on the side of Silver Phoenix, with the Sejuani and the Braum, a Freljordian frontline duo. Seems pretty strong, and it's going to be the Diana instead of the Trundle over there in the jungle for the side of Priscilla.
Ooh. Okay, I saw that Yuumi hover, and I was like, I don't really know if I like that too much. I mean, it's good, but after the few weeks ago when they kind of nerfed her into the ground, she became a very hard support to play. But Thresh is going to be the one that they lock in. So a lot of forms of engage for Samsung already. You have the Call the Forge God, you have the Diana ult, you have the Thresh hook. You have so many ways to start these fights, but just like you were saying, that Freljordian front line of Braum and Sejuani, they can say, yeah, we're going to soak up every bit of engage that you have and then still walk out of there with half HP.
All right, now, Pods, we have quite a few more bot lane bans since both teams electing to drop their 80 carry pick down to the 4-5. It is going to be Jinx, Kai'Sa, and Draven all removed in the second phase, and the Kog'Maw will be the choice to be paired alongside the Thresh for SSB, just indexing fully into the late game team fighting. And on the other side of things, there's a little bit of early game power for Silver Phoenix in the Caitlyn. Now the strategy starting to come through. The Braum to keep Caitlyn safe. No, okay, it's definitely not a Yuumi angle. They're picking the mid laner, and it will be the Ryze going over to Zephon in the mid lane. Now, R5 counter pick on the side of SSB for mid. It's the Plank, the Pirate for Baggins in the mid lane. A pretty classic pocket pick for the mid laner on the side of SSB, and some very interesting drafts, I think, Pods, overall.
Yeah, because just like you were saying, Samsung, they are fully invested in this late game. We are going to go the distance. We're going to go 35, 40 minutes. We want to play this late game. Gangplank scales incredibly hard. Kog'Maw scales incredibly hard. Ornn especially scales incredibly hard. But you also have some pretty decent scalers on the side of Phoenix. I mean, you have Ryze, who only gets more powerful the more mana he has, and Caitlyn, who is going to deal 1,000 damage per crit in that late game when she does have a lot of crit to her name, because you only have one tank if you are Samsung. I mean, Ornn is really only going to be the only one who can take more than like 3 shots from this Caitlyn without having to recall. But I love this bot lane out of Phoenix with the Caitlyn and the Braum. I think that has been such a strong and underrated lane. Just right now with how strong Caitlyn is, that Braum passive, you have so many ways to utilize it as well on the side of Phoenix. You have the Fiora, you have even the Sejuani passive, which you can combine with the Braum passive because they do overlap and you can get someone CC'd for a solid 3 or 4 seconds without having to use really any abilities. And it is going to be up to Tech to make sure he plays the Protect the President comp with Hyper and make sure because if Kog'Maw gets behind, it is so incredibly hard for him to get back into the game because he
Definitely.
will just, here, go ahead.
And it's easy to fall behind a champion like Caitlyn as well. You know, somebody who's notoriously able to play very aggressively during the laning phase. There's honestly an incredible amount to talk about with these drafts right now, Pods, but we just don't have the time. Before we go to our break, before we get into game 1, I would like to get a prediction from you. Do you prefer one of these drafts over the other? Do you think either team was able to find an advantage in the drafting phase of the first game?
I think it is going to be up to Grizz to make or break that draft because I love the draft of Phoenix, but there's a asterisk on the top of that, and that's if Grizz can get one or both of these solo lanes ahead. Because if Gangplank goes down against this Ryze and Ryze is able to scale infinitely faster than the Gangplank, he is going to hit like a truck because you get hit with one EQ and all of your health is gone. So I love Phoenix's draft, and I think I will give them the edge because I'm confident in Grizz's ability to focus this top side of the map. But if Grizz fails to do that, then I mean I can only say that Samsung is going to just roll this game.
Yeah, Silver Phoenix with a really strong composition, a lot of really powerful lanes, and a little bit of scaling to try and match what SSB have put together. But Kevin, on the Ornn that he likes so very much, and Baggins with a Pocket GP, seems like a great draft for both sides. We're going to go to a short break. Should be a very spicy game number 1, folks. We'll see you back here real soon. Okay. Onto the Rift. Can you just count for me, please, production, so I can get synced up here? Onto the Rift for game one. Silver Phoenix on the blue side. And
All right. A little bit
5,
technical
46.
issues, but we are getting it sorted out, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, looks good. We are all good here. You're with us, right, Pods? Looking good over there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm
All right.
along for the ride. Let's get it.
So, thankfully, not a whole lot happening at the level 1 mark, guys. Nobody really going for any aggressive invades, which I think makes some sense. I mean, with the Braum, I think that the side of Silver Phoenix definitely had the option, right, of going for some kind of level 1
Mhm.
play, but not electing to go for it. Any runes or summoner spells that you are finding interesting here, Pods?
Yeah, looking across the board, nothing too out of the ordinary. Something that I will want to keep an eye on throughout the game is how often Hyper is able to use this lethal tempo to his advantage. Because I mean, lethal tempo. I mean, ever since they changed it all that long time ago, it has been a go-to rune for just people who like attacking fast. I mean, Jax, you have Kog'Maw, you have even Caitlyn running at this game. Allegazia opting for that as well. So if he is able to get that, not only does it increase that attack speed, it increases the range. And with Kog'Maw already having the buff to his range with his, I believe it's his W, he will just be able to hit like a truck from half a mile away, and you're not able to really do anything about it. So be interesting to see how often he's able to get the full proc of that off in team fights with the amount of pressure he will be facing with Sejuani and Fiora.
Speaking of Sejuani, we do see both of our junglers starting up on the top side of the map. Sejuani went for the 3 camp into a potential gank angle. So got to level 3 and now looking at these solo lanes, trying to find an opportunity. Brasilda still on the full clear with the Diana. Here comes Sejuani into the mid lane. Is Grizz going to be... Oh, the Flash Arctic Assault is beautiful onto Baggins. Baggins flashing away under the tier 1. Will be able to survive. Flash for flash, but I think you're happy with that start of Silver Phoenix. The Gangplank extremely low HP as well.
Yeah, if you are able to burn that out of him so early, it makes it very difficult to step up. And what's even better is Baggins didn't start his W, or didn't go W second, so he didn't even have that cleanse available if he needed it. But yeah, we could see a scuffle here in the bot.
Tagged by the Braum Q. Nothing else going to happen for now. Winter just going to bite him a little bit, just going to nibble at Tech's Thresh. But Sejuani, they look like they want to go all in for this jungle invade. Just try and steal away the blue buff. Brasilda does have the smite, but with the full rotation in from all these members of Silver Phoenix, Diana is pushed out of her own jungle and will not be able to secure the blue buff. Definitely hurts for the Diana.
Yeah, I think what made that possible is during that mid lane gank when a lot of the focus was towards whether or not Baggins was going to get out or not, we saw Paint rotate up in the jungle when the turret had, when the wave had crashed on bot turret and get a ward right on that blue buff. So they knew exactly where Brasilda was and knew, okay, Baggins is too low to contest. The wave is shoved in bot. This is a safe play for us that we can go and take his blue away. And just like you were saying, that hurts this Diana so badly as far as being able to stay in the jungle longer and take more camps. And might see them have a scuffle here.
Yeah, they're going to find each other in the top side jungle, but not going to do any scuffling for now. So Diana definitely doesn't want that early skirmish against the Sejuani, but so far, a well-planned, well-executed strategy from Silver Phoenix in the early game, able to find themselves a small advantage early on here. Caitlyn, about up a wave so far in this bottom lane, continuing to push Cog Thresh under the turret. And Diana, not a very good early ganking jungler, so the Caitlyn Braum lane should feel pretty confident in their ability to continue pushing without being under much threat.
Yeah, while this Diana does not exactly have the kill pressure, she does have a little bit of a CS lead onto Grizz right now. I think that was because of that gank attempt that he tried to go for in mid lane, just cut down his clears a little bit, but it almost worked out. And top lane, yeah.
Nice riposte from Ken there. The wave is getting pushed in. Kevin easily going to be able to crash this on the tier 1. You're a little bit low HP. Should be able to farm this up pretty comfortably, though. Oh, maybe not. Level 6 for Ornn. Kevin looking for it. The flash away for Ken. Dodge. Oh, the flash in, though, for the brittle proc. Oh, they gave Kevin the Ornn, and he makes him regret it. Picks up the first blood.
Yeah, I wonder how close Ken was to having that riposte back up, because you are able to counter that Ornn Horn, you're able to counter the brittle knockup. So there's so many ways that he'd be able to get out of that. I guess the cooldown on it was just too long, and Kevin recognizes that, takes advantage of it, gets the flash and the teleport out of him. He's going to hold his teleport for a time later and buys a Bramble first item. So that is going to hurt Ken so much.
Definitely. Ornn off to a great start up here. And that is definitely the angle that he saw, right? That was a great call out. The fact that the riposte for Fiora is such a long cooldown at these early levels. Kevin was well aware that Ken didn't have that one back available yet. So just being able to flash under the turret like that to get the brittle auto, Baggins now maybe in trouble, gonna get frozen, but has an orange to remove any scurvy that was gonna potentially be a problem for the pirate.
I think they might be able to look for a dragon here. You have the mid prio, and Kog'Maw just recalled. You know that he did. Ooh, Baggins.
Nice trade from Stefan there. Diana waiting in the wings, but with Gangplank this low HP, he's just trying to farm up, and there absolutely will be no contest for this first dragon. So Silver Phoenix, they do lose out on the first blood in the top lane as Kevin's able to, oh, the flash under the turret. Zephon almost able to find the kill there, but Baggins just barely had the flash back off cooldown from that early Sejuani gank. Maybe running the Cosmic Insight on the Gangplank is the reason he headed back, because the flash, I think, literally just came back up for Baggins.
Yeah, I think that was a very risky play out of Zephon there, because, I mean, you knew the Diana was somewhere around there. All it takes is her to be in that raptor pit, and then all of a sudden you just give a kill over to the Diana or the Gangplank, neither of which is good for this Rise to give a early kill onto.
Was risky for sure. Nobody ends up going down. Just both mid laners expending the flash. We're gonna have Herald alive in just a moment. Both junglers on the top side of the map.
Diana is on her Raptors, though, but there is a control ward in this Tri-Brush, so Kevin is not in any danger as of right now. He's going to try and get some
early riposte from Ken. Dodges out on the charge. Here comes Called the Forge God, though. Does get the knock up. Oh, Glacial Prison going to sail off into Narnia. And now Grizz in a 1v1, 2 levels down against this very angry Ornn, as Kevin continuing to chase the flash away from the Moonfall. Means that Grizz will survive. Brasilda expending the flash there as well. Couldn't quite find the ultimate. But that's another kill for Kevin in the top lane. And this Ornn is starting to be a bit of a threat, Podsalem. They let him have it.
Yeah,
it's in his name. He likes Ornn.
That missing of the Sejuani ultimate, I mean, that if you hit that, that's a kill on the Ornn. I mean, even with the Gangplank ult, you have the Fiora ult on top of him, so you might be able to do something.
But into the death sentence. Pain taking a turret shot. I'm sorry, I got baited. You were saying?
No, you're good. Yeah, I was watching with watching that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's if you hit that, you're able to get the kill. Obviously, it going wide into Narnia, as you had said, puts Ken even further down. I mean, it's going to be incredibly hard for this Fiora to get going, because that's another champion that needs to get a little bit of a lead in lane. She does have an 11 CS lead right now, but that is nothing compared to 2 full kills, one of which being first blood.
Yeah. If Fiora falls behind in the side lane and can't threaten the Ornn, then that is kind of the entire purpose of... Okay, that was a good riposte. That's what we need to see more of from Ken. But that would defeat the entire purpose of the pick, really, right? Because the Fiora is not really great at team fighting. Not like something like the Jax, where he can kind of do both. You know, he can side lane, but then he can also jump into the team fight with a big counter strike. Fiora doesn't really have that same effect. She kind of needs to have that side lane pressure to really be effective. Otherwise, you kind of wish you were playing something else. But yeah, I mean, this is Definitely looking very favorable for the side of Samsung Black at this point in time. Still sitting on the Herald is Priscilla. We have about 90 seconds till the next dragon. I wonder if the Diana will try and use that for pressure. Oh, we're posted a little bit early again. Kevin gonna get the knock up into the wall. Grand Challenge has been issued as Ken can't quite get those last two vitals procced.
Yeah, if you are Kevin here, you do not like the extended fights against this Fiora, because when she has that Conqueror, and even when the Grand Challenge is available, she's able to get so much healing back. You like doing your 300 to 400 damage. Here we go.
Again, he has the flash, even Riposta. Good again from Ken. Where's the vital? Orange charging away. Barely able to survive is Kevin. Has the TP, so should be able to get back to lane. Grizz, meanwhile, in the bottom lane. This turret is extremely low, by the way. Algazia and Paint have done a ton of work on that bot tier 1. As the Diana going to get stunned by the Root Prison. Ace in the hole comes out as well. A lot of damage onto the jungler. Only 40 seconds until the dragon makes its way onto the rift, and Diana's going to have to head back to the fountain.
She does have that empowered recall from the Herald, so it's not going to be as long as it could have been. But yeah, having that priority for this dragon is going to be so incredibly important. And keep in mind, they used that Gangplank ultimate not 30 seconds ago to get that wave off of the bot turret. So that is a big cooldown that you do not have available for the second dragon.
And right here, go down, and that's a Glacial Prison directly onto the Kog'Maw, who does have a Thresh. Tech's able to get the marksman out of danger, but the turret cannot click the lantern. The turret cannot run away, and that would be a first brick going the way of Silver Phoenix. Dragon spawning now. Sejuani, no ultimate. Diana does have hers, and Ornn. Kevin is here. The Ornn has arrived. And that means that this team fight has suddenly become way too difficult for the side of Silver Phoenix. We're going to have to give it up.
Yeah, the Phoenix, they just give up an opportunity right there. When you're not able to kill Hyper off of that play, not only does he get out and is able to help with this dragon, you wasted 2 ultimates on that play and can't kill a Kog'Maw. I mean, you used the Glacial Fissure, you used the Sejuani ultimate. I mean, when you waste ults like that and are able to get nothing off of it, that just forces you to have to concede this dragon. And now the lead that you had in the objective game is now in the favor of Samsung, because they have this Herald and they have 3 men mid. They're gonna pop this Herald and might just trade back that turret that you just took.
Yeah, we're looking to get back some plates with the assistance of Shelly. Grizz is in the area, but it looks like the charge will come through. Cannot be stopped by the side of Silver Phoenix. It's going to be, I think that was Priscilla actually collecting all of the plate money, which I think you certainly don't mind if you're SSB, giving all that gold to the Diana. It's going to feel pretty all right.
If Ken has anything going for him in this top side, it is that CS lead. So I mean, it's not the end of the world for this Fiora in that regard. So while Kevin was towards the bot side of the map helping out with that dragon, he was able to get a lot of farming done uncontested, pushed into that turret a little bit as well. So extra gold in his pocket off the back end of that play.
Yeah, definitely the case. Ornn feeling very, very comfy. He is not too far ahead of the Fiora in terms of itemization. A really interesting mythic choice, actually, for Kevin, the Radiant Virtue on the Ornn. I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but and it is going to make him pretty tanky. You know, it does give some resists, but what do you make of that mythic choice?
Yeah, I think it's not the best, but hold on, we might see before I continue my analysis.
I don't think Priscilla saw. It's going to be a Grizz revealing themselves as Priscilla forced the flash over the Frostbite still connects. Glacial Fissure going to come out as well. Diana going for the 2-man Moonfall, trying to get something back, but there's just not enough damage for the Diana just yet. She's going to get stunned up and taken down, and it's going to be Ken who picks up the money, trying to get this Fiora back into a position of power.
Yeah, I don't know if Priscilla was just in the shop and didn't see Grizz use the blast cone over the wall into the bush, or maybe he just didn't have vision at all during that. I don't know how, but yeah, that is going to be a very unlucky turn of events, because now you give a kill over to this Fiora and put him back in this game, because like we're talking about, already has a CS lead. Now that gold that he gets from that kill puts him ahead of Kevin in the gold total.
Ooh, didn't get off the riposte there, but Ken pretty healthy. Should be able to retreat. And yeah, it's really big. I mean, we need... Okay, that's another potential brittle proc. Ken dashing back in. Okay, though, Kevin is also pretty low here, actually. Here comes the Forge God. No mana left for Ken for a repulse. Kevin has the flash. Not going to go for it. Was aware that there was more members of Silver Phoenix that were coming in to collapse. Kevin going to show some restraint there. Not going to go in for the kill.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about that mythic choice out of Kevin, and
That sends connects for Tech. The flay backwards as well. Zephon's flashing away, trying to stay alive with the ignite, burning down. He will barely survive, trying to get a realm warp, but no. The Diana Q will finish him off as Priscilla picks up the first kill of the game on his own jungle champion.
Yeah, Zephon made the grave sin of trying to farm. Every mid laner knows that when the enemy team has a Thresh and you don't have eyes on the jungler, yeah, it is going to be bad news bears for you. Almost gets out, like you were saying, with that Realm Warp. Just barely gets clipped by Priscilla's Q. And now that's a good trade. Now able to take a nice reset after taking that turret, and has 2 stacks on that Dark Seal for Priscilla now, but topside.
Yeah, Arctic Assault connecting for Grizz. Kevin pretty tanky, trying to get under the turret. Gonna hit by the Glacial Prison as well. Ken underneath, taking a lot of turret shots, and will end up getting traded back, and it's the Cannon Barrage that gets the last hit. Baggins picking up the money for that one, but no one to defend the tier 1. Grizz will be able to drop Shelly and take out this turret. Answer back. Advantage in terms of turrets now for the side of Silver Phoenix. And that will give them the gold lead as well by about 1K.
Yeah, I wonder if Ken had been, like, just didn't think his flash would have gotten him out of the turret range in time, or I don't know, he's just saving it for next game. I don't know. Maybe the could have saved him from giving another kill over, but Dragon is on the table for Samsung Black. We do see Sacred Phoenix looking to try and contest, but I don't think they are going to be in time.
Yeah, Grizz is in the area, but just no information about the health on the Dragon. They're not going to be able to contest. And now it is the side of SSB. Their second Dragon of the game is Ocean Soul for our first game of the night pods. And would feel pretty good for Kevin, definitely, on the Ornn up there, if he's able to pick up that Ocean Soul. Here comes Grizz into the mid lane. Hyper immediately flashing away from that very scary Boar Rider. Glacial Fissure, very nice, connects onto 2 for Paint. And now taking a couple of turret shots on the Braum. They finish off Tech's Thresh. Priscilla into the mid lane now, trying to get a Moonfall, but gonna get stunned up by the Frostbite as Ken finds a solo kill in topside. Paint flashed away from the Kog'Maw, barely staying alive as Diana will drop as well. And Silver Phoenix, the ace in the hole. Oh, Kog'Maw barely able to live. Oh, must be a single-digit HP almost on that Kog'Maw. But it is Silver Phoenix winning out massively across the map now. They're gonna take out the mid in tier 1. And Fiora is absolutely becoming that side lane threat.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but what saved him was a tick of Ocean Dragon. It said plus 25, and that is the exact amount he needed to keep from going down. So that Dragon they got less than 2 minutes ago, saving his rear end right there. But yeah, I mean, the play going in the favor of the Phoenix, and that is so much just map pressure that they are able to get. This top turret, mid turret, you're able to take almost all of the I think, yeah, almost all. Dang it, Priscilla took it there with his little Pokemon. But yeah, I believe we're gonna have a replay of that last fight. I'm gonna watch this here right here because it was a great ultimate out of Pain to be able to knock up both of them, and then the combination of the Sejuani passive and the Braum passive. Because I mean, I was talking about that in Champ Select. You have so many ways to stun up people without using a single ability, and the ace in the hole barely not finishing the kill onto Hyper. But so much going. Yeah, you can see right there that plus 25 just barely keeping Hyper alive. Oh my goodness.
Nuts. We just had Ken teleporting back into the top lane to try and keep up the pressure in the side lane here. Yeah, I mean, Sejuani is technically an ability, as Grizz is going to look to get some more stuns onto a Hyper who did not have vision in that bush. The Lantern is just a second too late, and the Kog'Maw is going to get taken out once again. A very nice catch from Grizz. No Dragon up right now to take at the moment. There is a Baron that just spawned. The side of Silver Phoenix not going to go for that one just yet, as Ken is severely outnumbered now in the top lane. Already used the riposte. Going to try for a grand challenge. I don't think... oh, he is able to get the kill! The challenge is successful, and now Ken getting some healing from the ultimate. Can he get a couple more vitals? Just needs a little bit more healing. Can't quite get there. Yeah, trying to outplay in the 1v3. Not quite enough.
I think he accidentally queued into the wall of the Thresh ultimate, so it dealt enough damage. But yeah, that Conqueror and the Grand Challenge, keeping him just healthy throughout that whole fight, able to get a trade of kills back in Baggins.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. It's Tech getting hooked underneath the turret, but it's Tech who goes down. The Caitlyn doing so much damage. Gonna have the Infinity Edge on the next base. Doesn't even have it yet, but didn't need it to secure that kill, as that's a nice barrel chain from Baggins. But yeah, this composition from the side of Silver Phoenix, they kind of needed to find that early lead when you take a look at what they're going up against, and they have definitely found it. Up over 5,000 gold now. Snowball starting to roll a little bit faster.
Yeah, I think so. I believe we're going to have
another replay here. Podslim, walk us through it.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that we didn't catch, I think, the beginning of it. Maybe we did. We saw, we saw that little bit of the fight right there, and Priscilla gets in the Grand Challenge almost immediately put onto him. And I didn't think that Ken had gotten all the vitals in time, but he did get so much healing from the Conqueror and the ultimate. And let's see if he actually does queue into the Thresh wall. No, he actually... I couldn't tell with that Thresh skin, but yeah, able to. Okay, he does get dive into the Thresh wall, but yeah, regardless of that, I mean, the 1v3 and you're still able to trade a kill back. That is a plus for Ken, because you were able to draw so much attention and allow Allegazia and Paint to pressure this mid inner turret. And there's a lot of pings going onto the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, that's great work from Ken, able to take 3 people to stop him in the top lane, able to even get a kill back, and now it's the move onto the Baron for Silver Phoenix. Very bold.
I know they're on it.
Expecting the side of SSB to move towards the Dragon, but the contest will come through instead. So SPX gonna pull off for now. Dragon alive, and SSB have the fast track for this one. Would be Ocean Soul Point if Samsung Black can secure it. What will be the play now for Silver Phoenix? They try and push into the bot river to contest the Dragon. Looks like that would be the call. We have Ken split pushing in the top side still. Dragon at about 50% HP. Grizz gonna have a little bit of vision in the pit now. Could go for a potential steal. Knock really good from Kevin over the wall. And it will be the Dragon secured by the side of SSB. It's now Grizz going in onto the Ornn, as Ken looking for the solo kill in the top lane, taking too many turret shots though. The riposte will not save you from the turret. He will end up getting that last auto attack onto the gangplank 1-for-1. Not able to get the inhibitor turret down, but it's Silver Phoenix winning out in this bot side fight. Kevin not able to reactivate the Forge God call. And it's nobody going down actually. SSB able to successfully retreat after securing the objective.
Yeah, Samsung just getting the better half of that entire engage. I mean, yeah, we see top side where Ken almost made a Reddit play right there, but still sadly paid for it with his life. And mid turret might actually go down here. No, they're gonna be able to clear the wave in time. But 4 men strong in the mid lane for Sacred Phoenix. And yeah, I mean, now if you're the Phoenix, you are having to contest every single dragon for the rest of the game, because if you let Kevin get this Ocean Soul, you thought he was hard to kill. Now you're never going to kill him at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you can still stun him for a long time, but certainly killing him will prove to be quite a challenge in the event that Ocean Soul does come through. But Pods, I actually just noticed something really, really awkward.
What's that?
Kevin is level 14, which means, of course, that he's able to upgrade one of the mythic items of one of his teammates. But unfortunately, none of his teammates have built any mythic items, so he can't.
So Tech is the only one who has a mythic item right now with that Locket of the Iron Solari, but it is not very advantageous for you to upgrade the support's mythic first,
Right.
just because you're able to get so much value out of your other champions. But I mean, yeah, I think Priscilla is working towards a mythic right now. Maybe that Night Harvester
Oh,
has
man.
that Hex Tech alternator, but the Baron.
Okay. Spotted out very early by the side of SSB. They're going to be able to get a ward in the pit as well. So no control really over the area for Silver Phoenix. They keep testing SSB to see if they don't respond. But the responses so far have been good from Samsung Black. We have Rise off on the sideline though. The split push is real. The 1-3-1 with this composition is absolutely a possible win condition. And I do feel like Silver Phoenix are playing around it pretty well. I mean, that's the reason they keep starting up the Baron like this, right? Is they're trying to draw people. They're trying to draw SSB across the map to try and open up opportunities for the side laners to take advantages.
I think also what they're trying to do is they're trying to burn the teleports of either Kevin or Baggins, because if you're able to get those teleports out, then not only can you just back off the Baron and say, okay, we got what we wanted, but then you can keep doing that whenever Baggins or Kevin shows on bot side, and then have Xiphon teleport in, and now you have a numbers advantage 5v4. You can force a fight or just force down the Baron, and whoever happened to counter that Rise on the split push is going to have to take the walk of shame over to the Baron pit where his team might already be dead.
Yeah, it's really can be really difficult to execute on these kind of split push style compositions. But so far, the side of Silver Phoenix have been playing out pretty well. They still find themselves with a very hefty gold lead. But this possible Ocean Soul is coming up in just about a minute. Grizz starting up the Baron once again. It's going to be Tech moving in. Should be able to get... There is the Scryozorb. So they have visual confirmation of the Baron start. Fiora with a little bit of a flank. Diana actually nowhere near the pit. But I don't know if Silver Phoenix know how far the enemy jungler is. With the Cannon Barrage coming through, they'll have to back away, but Ken with a big flank. They get the Glacial Prisoner directly onto the Kog'Maw Hyper, able to grab the Lantern, get temporarily to safety, and now Ken taking a lot of damage on the front line. It's Priscilla with a big Moonfall onto 3. Is the Diana damage enough? It's not quite. Gets one back, but Tech now slowed up by the Winter's Bite, and Grizz with the Flash Assault. It's going to be Hyper taken out as well, so a big team fight win for Silver Phoenix. They peel off the Baron. They get the team fight. It's 3-for-1. And now Xiphon in a 1v1 against Kevin. Baggins waiting in the wings, though, so Rise can't commit too heavily to this. Is it back to the Baron? Or do they move over towards the Dragon? It's only 20 seconds, but the call from Silver Phoenix is to go back to the Baron. This potentially could give over Ocean Soul to their opponents, but with Baron, the 1-3-1 comp, that could be all that they need to get the Nexus. It's a bold choice. I think it makes sense for their composition, but they have to secure the objective.
Baggins got the steal here.
He's trying to go for something cheeky, but they destroy the barrel, and Smite is good from Grizz. Baron secured. Rise on the Dragon. Is Xiphon going to be able to solo this one out? Diana's on the way. I don't know if the Rise has time.
Ken has teleport.
No way that
he could join him
over here.
Yeah, you could not give this up. I mean, Baron is not worth Ocean Soul if you are the Phoenix here.
I mean, it could be, but it puts you on such a tight window. And here comes the teleport for SSB. They're starting up the objective with a vengeance now. Sejuani has vision in the pitch. He's going to be able to get over the wall with the blast cones. Kevin charging in with the Searing charge. It's flash away for Zephon's Rise. Golden Forge God comes out. Grizz going to be taking a lot of damage here. He's in the pit. It's a 50-50 on the smite. It goes to Priscilla. Ocean Soul secured for SSB. As now the Fiora getting some work done on the side lane. Can they stop the backs? Can they delay in this fight? Priscilla going to be able to chase down the Braum with one more Q. And now Grizz, the last man standing. The bases will come through. And Ken able to get only a single inhibitor. 3 members down for Silver Phoenix. 3 Baron buffs removed. And Ocean Soul claimed by the opposition.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I don't like that play out of Phoenix, because yeah, you're able to get some pressure topside, but you just concede the fight around Dragon. Yeah, it was a 50-50 Grizz. I don't know if he missed his smite or just wasn't able to use it in, like. Well, yeah, I know, but I don't know if he smited early. I don't know if he didn't smite at all. or just other something like that. But yeah, that just puts so much pressure because now.
Oh, Riposte didn't quite come out. Oh, misses it there, but flashing forward gets the autos. Ken able to find the kill onto Hyper. Still with Baron buff active, I believe, on the Fiora as well. Or did he go down?
I don't know if he went down. I think Baron. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, she didn't have it in the first place. She was dead whenever Baron was taken.
Of course. Able to take that inhibitor even without the Baron.
Yeah, so yeah, because I mean even
the barrel change. Zephon with the bone plane doing a little bit of work, but the Gangplank has so much damage right now. The shield bow keeping him alive. Zephon really nice. Going for the Realm Warp has been canceled. And one more overload, not enough to secure the kill onto the Pirate. And a nice collapse from Priscilla gets the side of SSB another kill.
Oh, Zephon, they changed that so long ago. You can't Realm Warp in Zhonya's anymore, my friend. Oh, that's so rough to see. Zephon, while he does so much damage, has just frankly done nothing as far as team fights or anything like that. He has had a lot of side lane pressure, but sitting at 0-3-0. Gotta have a replay right here of that dragon fight. I mean, look, that Baron, or not Baron, but that dragon so incredibly low, and just
from the Gangplank.
God,
just basically ending that fight before it could even start. I mean, it was also a man advantage, I believe, for the side of SSB. I believe they had all 5 for that dragon, where Fiora was uncontested in the top lane. So they maybe should have just sent Grizz by himself to try and get the smite on the dragon. I'm not sure, but I mean, they have still been able to hold on to their gold lead somehow, Pods. But against this Ocean Soul, they can't really team fight anymore.
Yeah, and now, because I mean, like you were talking about the Ornn being level 14. Well, now he's level 16, and 4 of his teammates have mythic items, all of which are already upgraded, just waiting on the Hyper to get his mythic. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten one yet. I mean, yeah, I know all 3 of those items are crucial for a Kog'Maw, but I mean, what mythic do you even go? You go Kraken Slayer? I mean,
probably
you go
Kraken,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a big Kog'Maw enjoyer, so don't know all of the builds. But now the longer this game goes, this Ornn is only going to get bigger, only going to get beefier. And now that he has Ocean Soul, you're just going to be just fighting him for 40 minutes before he dies once.
Yeah, it's like Fiora isn't really trying to go through the Ornn anymore. Like, she's trying to go to the side lane where Ornn is not. She's trying to split push around the Ornn instead of through him, which I think is kind of what you have to do at this point. As you were just saying, the dude's just too tanky.
The 5v5s are going to become so much harder for Sacred Phoenix, because I mean, this Baron comes up in a minute, just a minute and 15 or something like that. Elder comes up in less than 2 minutes. If you give over Elder Dragon, there is nothing stopping this Kog'Maw and this Gangplank from dealing damage from afar, and then all of a sudden think of your health is gone, and so is your Nexus.
Yeah, that would definitely be a game ender if the side of SSB could secure the Elder Dragon. I think they would be able to clean things up pretty thoroughly from that position. We shall see. If the side of Silver Phoenix can have Fiora properly positioned when those objectives spawn, Elder Dragon for Nexus is a trade that teams have been known to take in the past to not great success for the side that gets the Elder Dragon, of course.
And looking... Oh, here, go ahead.
I was going to say, Ken, split pushing in the bot lane for now. Still, 1 minute on the Elder, 10 seconds on the Baron. And the side of Silver Phoenix, they seem to be prioritizing the Baron pods. What do you make of that call?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really all they can do at this point, because I mean, the split pushing what you're doing right now, nothing is coming of it. That inhibitor that was gotten top lane, it's done nothing, but the Baron is being taken, and
it's going down pretty fast. 50% HP on the Baron, but Priscilla is here, has the Scryer's Bloom, has Vision in the Pit, and a Blast Cone. Diana going in for the 50-50. No, it goes to Grizz. Is the Lantern able to be clicked by Priscilla? Death Sentence connects as well, but there's just way too much CC that Diana can't even right-click anything. Tech gonna find another Death Sentence, but already 2 kills go in the way of Silver Phoenix. Nice Zhonya's from Zephon to dodge out on the barrel change, and now Ken, with the Baron buff, able to take out another inhibitor turret. He can't kill the Ornn, but he can kill all of the Ornn's structures. Ornn cannot defend them. Fiora has just way too much damage to these turrets. This paint almost getting taken out by the gangplank there, but now it's a double inhibitor on the horizon for the side of Silver Phoenix. They are just successfully splitting apart SSB. Kevin finds a knock-up. Ken getting collapsed on by Baggins. But the rest of the team, we can see Silver Phoenix, the entirety of the squad, is here at the gates of the enemy base. It's a triple inhibitor game, and now pods, the side of Silver Phoenix will fall back to the Elder.
Yeah, and if you are Samsung Black, all of this hope of taking the game even further, it is slowly slipping out of your fingers. Yeah, you have the Ocean Soul, but no amount of healing is going to save you from an execute damage buff, especially when you have only 2 turrets remaining, those 2 turrets being your Nexus turrets.
Oh, man. The first Baron Dance lasted for so long. It was the side of SSB able to play such great defense, able to maintain some vision, some control over that area. But it seemed like the side of SSB was maybe really distracted by the level 18 Fiora in the bot lane. They weren't able to get over to that Baron pit in time, or maybe they were just expecting Silver Phoenix to prioritize the Elder over the Baron buff. I'm not too sure, but it ended up being a pretty easy secure. I mean, Diana did get in the pit, I guess, so there was a chance at a steal, but now with 3 inhibitors and both Uber buffs, Silver Phoenix looking to walk down mid, but the finishing touches on this first game, and SSB staring down a 0-3 start to the season. Definitely something they would love to avoid. Level 18 for both solo laners. Kevin, can he find the hero stand at the Nexus turrets? Cannon Barrage already expended to remove that first wave of supers in mid lane. But you can see the supers coming in through the sides as well. Soon, these baroned up supers might be too much to overcome for the side of SSB. They need to go for this last stand sooner rather than later before the minion waves become too much. Death Sentence going to sail wide. Nexus turrets now being sieged. Allegazia not able to get really in very many autos just yet. Caitlyn playing very conservatively. First Nexus turret taken out. Here comes the Golden Forge. Got Moonfall only onto the Caitlyn, but Allegazia going golden, flashing away, staying alive. Glacial Fissure now coming out, not able to connect on anybody, but still it's 2 kills. The Elder buff is too much. There is just no way that SSB ever had a chance in this fight. The Nexus turrets will go down, as will the first Nexus of this best of 2. SSB still looking for their first win as Silver Phoenix take game 1.
It was looking so good in the early game for Samsung. This Ornn going 2-0 in lane against Fiora. Fiora just not being able to get a foothold in the laning phase. The rest of the team doing all right as well. But then, slowly but surely, it kept getting more in the favor of the Phoenix. I mean, you even got... If we look at the Drake total, it's 4-1 in Drakes. You would think if we showed you that score just right there, four Drakes to 1, you'd be like, oh, the team with Ocean Soul is absolutely crushing. But then you look at the gold, you look at where the gold is, you look at the lane state of everything, and all of a sudden, this late game comp of Samsung Black just falls apart to the split pushing power and moreover distraction power of the Sacred Phoenix being able to say, yeah, hey, Ornn and Gangplank, come bot side. Oh wait, we're actually on the Baron, and then we go from Baron over to Elder Dragon, and now we're just sieging your base with all 3 inhibitors down. And then it's like, well, I mean, where do you go from here except just lose the game?
Yeah, it really felt like it was in control for SSB until it absolutely wasn't. And I do think it's important to remember, they drafted for team fight, right? And they played around what they drafted very well. They played for team fights. They played the team fights out quite well and won most, if not all of them, where the entire team was there. They were able to secure the Dragon Soul, but they just couldn't deal with the split push. It was the side of Silver Phoenix that ended up just outplaying them, able to get more done on the map, which is really difficult to do with a composition like this. Really shows some great coordination among the members of Silver Phoenix across the entire team is the reason they were able to get this win.
Have to see if Have to see if
Oh, Sacred
Samsung can bounce back against the Sacred Phoenix. I don't know if they will stick to the red side or if they will want to switch it up. And what will make that okay? So it is a guaranteed they will swap. They do not get the choice. But I wonder if they will continue with the same style of composition with the the 5-man team fight, or if you're just going to switch it up. Maybe say, all right, Kevin, we know you like Ornn, even if it's up. We're just going to put you on something different to maybe try and change things up. It's going to be interesting because even with having a composition that they seem to have liked, I mean, Sacred Phoenix were just able to outplay them at their own game.
Yeah, definitely will be interesting, and feels bad for Kevin, right? He got the Ornn, was like 2-0 at like 10 minutes, I think, but just wasn't enough. We're gonna go to break in just a second, but before we do, Pods, who's your MVP for Game 1 on the side of Silver Phoenix? Who stood out to you the most, had the biggest impact in your eyes?
I think it has to be either Allegazia or Grizz, just doing so much in these team fights. I think Grizz only died maybe once or didn't die at all.
0-10 on the set.
Yeah, and so he didn't die at all. I mean, just being the beef boss, raid boss of a unit in these fights, dealing so much damage with the ultimates, with his passive, being able to just be a menace in these team fights, and then Allegazia as well, just the main damage threat. I mean, Xiphon, he did a lot of damage himself, but wasn't nearly as big of a threat in the mid to late game as this Caitlyn was, scaling so incredibly hard.
Yeah, I like the Grizz shout out. We played the early game out really well, got the solo lanes ahead, and dropped the Rift Herald in bot lane as well, I believe, to get the Caitlyn snowballed ahead as well. But Ken also, I think might actually have my vote there on the Fiora, just because of how well he played in the sideline, despite falling behind early, right? To stay in it and really remained a huge win condition for the team. But we'll see once the teams swap sides, if things turn around for SSB, if they stick to team fights, or if they try something different. We'll find out soon. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Getting ready for our Game 2 draft tonight as we begin Week 2. There's the side of Silver Phoenix with a split pushing composition that they were able to pilot. Sacred Phoenix, I did it again. Gosh dang it. Sacred Phoenix, my apologies, with a very nice split pushing composition that they piloted very well to get the victory in Game 1, which they certainly enjoyed, Podslum, after a long time. Sacred Phoenix, I mentioned at the beginning, these two teams, old rivals from way back in Season 1. Sacred Phoenix, of course, eliminated by Samsung Black in the semifinals of that first season, and now getting a little bit of revenge after all these years.
Feels good to get that win back if you are the Phoenix, and looking to make it a 2-0 week for themselves. Have to see if they're able to do more of the same, or if Samsung will throw a wrench in that plan and end it 1-1. But yeah, they are on. Samsung is on the blue side this time around, so no more red side counter picks going to be available to them. So we'll have to see how their draft changes and if they go for that orange first pick again.
Yeah, I imagine Silver Phoenix will leave it available again, since they were able to give it over in Game 1 and still came away with the victory. I mean, Kevin did have a pretty good game on the Ornn, but it wasn't good enough to get the squad at the win. It was good enough to get them a Dragon Soul. So maybe if it was a different soul that was a little bit higher impact, maybe that would have been enough to turn the tide. But it really just felt like Silver Phoenix had a plan that they executed on very well, and the team fights didn't really end up mattering all that much.
Yeah, it all goes down to who is able to play their type of composition better. Because, I mean, if the team fight composition is able to play theirs better, then all the objectives you get are just going to overpower the amount of split push that your opponent is trying to throw at you. But the split pushing just distracted so much attention from the objectives that you were very rarely able to get a 5v5 that was in your favor. A lot of times it was 4v4, or it was 3v3, or 4v3, or other stuff like that. So those aren't optimal for this team fight composition. You need really all of the pieces to make it truly effective, because the side of Sacred Phoenix, they like the skirmishes. They like the ones where it's like only 3v3 or other stuff like that, because they do so much damage and have so many different combinations of 3v3 champions that work well together. Sejuani, Braum, Caitlyn, Ryze. And if you allow them to do that consistently, they're just going to roll you by getting those small advantages where they need them. And obviously that is what we saw in Game 1. So I'm actually curious to see if we will see that, if the Ornn is left open, if we will see that Fiora banned away. Because while those first two kills went over to Kevin, I mean, this Fiora, after she got a few items under her belt, was simply just unkillable. Or if she did die, she took one or two people with her, so it was never an even trade.
Yeah, definitely. It was this. Fiora was down, a couple of kills. It looked like maybe that the Fiora wasn't going to be able to get online until really late into the game, but it was our Game 1 POG Grizz that was able to make his way into the top lane, turn things around for Ken on the Fiora, and suddenly, the Fiora was 1v3 up there, allowing the team to claim objectives on the other side of the map. And it will be really interesting to track, right? Because the side of Silver Phoenix is on red side this time around, they will be able to see if SSB decides to ban away the Fiora, then Silver Phoenix should be able to react with the Ornn ban. So we'll see if it ends up playing out like that. I guess the teams are still doing the third-party draft, so we don't have that for the stream just yet. But I imagine should be getting into that relatively shortly.
Yeah, and even after this game, we've got one more game to look forward to. Right. So this is not the last time that we are going to be casting a game tonight. We do have some pretty good content out of the Division 1. So keep in mind, this is Division 2 for all of us watching. Division 2 is lower ranked than Division 1. That does not make the quality of the games any worse. It's just a different level of competitiveness. over there. But yeah, in this next game, we have Jacinto 6699 facing off against SPX United, which should definitely be a banger of a match.
Yeah, Pods, what are we doing down here in Division 2? Let's go watch the real
these
quality
losers.
gameplay. That first of it. No, yes. The CWL El Clasico, of course. SSB versus Sacred Phoenix.
Whoa, hey man, I'm all for some lore and some rivalry, but El Clasico, come on, man, that might be pushing it a little bit. We will have to see.
Game 1 definitely delivered in terms of entertainment value, at least.
Yeah, I cannot argue with that. But looking into this next game with Jacinto and SPX, Logic is saying something to me and I cannot hear what he is saying. Orn ban. Okay, so he has informed us. So instead of talking about the next game in Division 1, talking about this one, Orn has been banned from what I've been told. No, not. Talk about Orn ban. All right, never mind. Logic is I love you, Logic. So he's so we were
very curious about the potential Orn ban that may come through. And I do I think we've kind of covered this already. We expect the Orn ban if the Fiora ban happens first, because the side of SSB is on the blue side. It is kind of up to them. If they ban the Fiora, then I think we do expect Silver Phoenix to react with the Orn ban, unless Ken has some other picks up his sleeve as well that he feels confident to play into Kevin's Orn, because I mean the team fights were played well by SSB in that first game, as we've already said, and the Orn just wasn't enough to get them the win. So I have to imagine, Silver Phoenix, they don't really need to show respect just yet until they have to.
Yeah, keep in mind as well, Prasilda, before he locked in that Diana pick, was hovering Trundle. So that could be a different change, that instead of, trying to do this assassin, like super heavy engage champion, you just say, all right, we're just going to try and play this drain tank, if you will, just popping the ultimate on whoever it is. Maybe it would be Grizz's Sejuani if they decide to run that again. But yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right. The Orn, while he was good, didn't pose the biggest threat. So if I am Sacred Phoenix, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, play it. But you're exactly right. If the Fiora is banned, I'm curious if there's another counter, or if they just say, all right, I mean, you ban ours, we're going to ban yours, and then we're just going to play something completely different in the top lane to make it work. I want to see Samsung just play a different type of comp entirely, because I'm all for the 5v5 team comp, or the 5v5 team fight compositions, everything like that. But I want them to completely just throw a curveball at Sacred Phoenix, say, all right, yeah, we are able to play the team fight type of compositions, but we are going to play something completely different, making you guys change how you are playing as well, because we know you guys can play the split push and the skirmish game, but can you play the 5v5 team fight competition, or can you play this split push competition into maybe a skirmish composition?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the side of Samsung Black decides to go for something a little bit different. But that we have to kind of think, if the only thing that they've practiced this week is still very early on in the season, right? This team, I imagine, still building up a little bit of synergy, still kind of getting into the swing of things, and maybe they don't really have any other types of compositions ready just yet. So I don't know, and we've never really seen Kevin on any split pushers himself. It's not really the kind of champion that he likes to go for. Saw him in the Mordekaiser and the Scion last week. I guess Scion can split push, but not really how Kevin played it in that particular instance. So I don't necessarily expect them to change things up. Maybe they can find a little bit of a different angle here from the blue side. I do expect to see a different jungle pick, at least. You know, the Diana, obviously, it was good for the team fights, but in the end, you know, against the really tanky composition, honestly, that Silver Phoenix had drafted, all of this front line, really felt like the Diana wasn't getting a ton of value. All right, moments away now, ladies and gents, from our Game 2 draft. Should be getting into it very, very shortly. It's time to find out. Will the Fiora and/or Ornban come through? Will Tech pilot the Thresh again? Maybe back to the Nautilus? Maybe not a Hook champion? We'll just have to wait and see. It's time to find out. Into draft for Game 2.
The options are truly endless. As I mean, support meta right now is... It's just all up in the air. Coming from a support main, man, you can play just about anything down there and make it work. But Udyr and Amumu bans, more of the same as we saw in this in match 1. Akali as well. I'm curious to see if these first 6 bans are actually just going to be the exact same. I believe this next ban was Xayah, that Sacred Phoenix had banned away. Yeah, and Xayah again. Will we see?
Another 80
the Fiora.
Oh, there goes the Fiora. So is this the Ornn ban?
Do they just do that? Do they just do the handshake of bans and say, all right, you ban one, we'll ban the other?
Or is it another 80 carry ban?
Because they do have first pick, so you're not able to take... Yep, there it is.
Okay. So, Kevin, no access to the Ornn this time around, so they will prioritize the Sejuani. I think would make a lot of sense.
He's clicking through all the junglers, man. He doesn't know who. Oh, dang it.
No, it's Sejuani for sure. This is the pick. So we'll be locked in. Now the response from Silver Phoenix. Let's see. They still have the Caitlyn available if they want to get Allegazia back on the Caitlyn, which they will lock in. And now perhaps pairing alongside the Caitlyn. The Braum seems like it works pretty well, but the Morgana will be the choice this time instead. Great into the Sejuani, and of course a classic pairing alongside the Sheriff as well.
Soraka hover. Do we see this the Soraka pick? I mean, that Jinx Soraka is an interesting one into the Caitlyn Morgana, and it actually does go through. Yeah, I mean, I like the Soraka for the later game team fights, but in that lane, I think Caitlyn Morgana is just so much more oppressive. If you are able to hit the Dark Binding on either of them, able to throw down a Caitlyn trap. And then if this Zac goes through, now you have Zac on top of this. There is so much setup in this bot side, including the jungle, to just dive onto the Jinx Soraka and just say, all right, yep, you guys aren't allowed to play the game anymore. You're just knocked up and rooted and stunned, and you're just going to die over and over and over again, and there's not much you guys can do about it.
Kevin with the second phase of bans in the top side, for the side of Silver Phoenix, banning away both of the champs that he picked last week. So Kevin getting pushed pretty far down now in the pool.
Surely not.
Surely
not.
There's no way. You're not
Surely not again. All right, there we go.
Oh, nice one there, Pods. Oh, it took me a second, but well played. But yes, there are not very many bot lanes, right, that are more oppressive rather than the Caitlyn Morgana. I mean, that's really when you look up oppressive bot lanes in the dictionary, it's just a picture of Kate Morgana. Like that's well, I guess there's Lux there as well, and I guess Karma or like Heimerdinger. There are a lot of oppressive supports, aren't there?
Yes.
But anyways, the Soraka at least will provide some sustain. So while, Jinx is probably going to get poked out a little bit by the Caitlyn auto attack range, at least Tech's going to be able to get him healed up a little bit. It's the rest of the draft already completed. Moved pretty quickly through it, Pods. Why don't you walk us through those last few picks?
Yeah, looking at the Azir and this Cho'Gath going to be picked for the last 2 picks. For Samsung Black, I am a big fan of the Azir. He did take a hit in this last patch. They reduced his starting mana and I believe increased the cooldowns of his W and his Q. So he's not able to be as oppressive in the early game as he usually is. But I mean, he is going up against Zafon's Ryze, which Ryze is not exactly the best early game mid lane champion either, so it won't be too much fighting early on unless there's some jungle assistance out of Grizz and Priscilla, which I mean, we saw how aggressive Grizz was on this Sejuani last game. So I have to see if Priscilla will take that same level of aggression and try and force Zafan to use some summoner spells early on.
Yeah, definitely the case. We just looked up the stats for Kevin on the Cho'Gath. I had to go back a couple of seasons, so this is a pick that Kevin is somewhat familiar with, but hasn't been playing it a whole lot. I had to go back to the 2021 stats, but in 2021, I believe that was season 10, season 9, season 10, right? 2021.
That sounds right.
But 74 games on the Cho'Gath, the 76% win rate. So Kevin, he's got a lot of tanks in that champion pool. They weren't able to ban him out entirely. And this is, of course, again, going to give some nice synergy with the Sejuani as Baggins is... Oh, they're not in order. They're not in order. It's going to be Hyper on the
I was confused a little as well. I was like, the Azir ADC,
It's fine. It's fine. Everything fine. Azir is going mid lane, guys. It's okay.
Something that I do want to talk about a little bit as well is Ken on this Gnar, which I think can be incredibly oppressive to Cho'Gath. Because, I mean, Cho'Gath has little to no range. I mean, he has his Q knockup. I mean, you have the little Vorpal spikes with your E. Yeah, that's going to do a little bit of damage, but nothing compared to the boomerangs, to the range of Mini Gnar. And then whenever Ken goes to Mega Gnar, just able to get up in your face and just deal so much damage. So I think once again, it is going... I love the draft of the Sacred Phoenix here. It is once again going to be up to Grizz to try and get these lanes ahead. Because this Gnar and Rise, if they're able to get a lead, then maybe they can steamroll the game as well. Or maybe you just devote all of your time into this bot side. Maybe try and reverse what the dragon situation was last game. Pick up a few of those dragons for yourself alongside getting Allegazia and Paint ahead. Because we see what Allegazia can do on this Caitlyn when he gets a few kills. So maybe Sacred Phoenix will say, all right, we just want to continue playing through him and then just hope it all works out like it did in match 1.
Yeah, we had faith in Grizz last game. Absolutely made good on it. Our prayers were answered. See if he can do it again for the side of Silver Phoenix. If they will rise up and push SSB to 0-4 at the start of the season. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Game 2. We have, of course, swapped sides. Samsung Black over on the blue side, and Sacred Phoenix. Sacred, not silver. They're a Sacred Phoenix. They may also be silver, but that's not relevant.
That's
And
besides
they're
the
on the
point.
red side. Exactly. And once again, we're going to have a very, very casual level 1 pods. Nobody really feels like doing too much of anything.
Which I think is interesting because, I mean, if you look at the side of Sacred Phoenix, I mean, that Morgana, like,
Yeah.
so incredibly powerful, level 1. And something that I think is also interesting is Paint opted for Glacial Augment. Normally, a lot of the Morganas that I see run either Comet or Airy just to have some more poke in lane or just poke in general. But the Glacial Augment is very interesting because it provides that much more CC, albeit soft CC, but it is still a slow nonetheless, especially when you're up against two immobile champions like Hyper and Tech on Soraka and Jinx. So we'll have to see how well he's able to use those extra slows. And there's a few pings going over the red buff of Samsung that they know they're not on it because they got a ward. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's a ward for Samsung. Yeah, so they assume the Sejuani is. Yeah, they assume the Sejuani is over there starting that.
Brasilda just letting everybody know what the clear path is going to look like here for the second game. Again, both of our junglers starting on the top side of things. And the Glacial Augment, I think a great call out there, Pods. Does mean, of course, that Paint is going to be very reliant on landing those Dark Bindings to actually get value out of the rune. Like when you go for the Comet or the Airy, then you can, of course, get value with the W and the E, respectively. So with the Glacial Augment, though, you have to be landing those Dark Bindings. So have to keep an eye out for that. See if the rune selection for Paint is going to be getting a good amount of value, as they do get the push early on. Comet or no, the Caitlyn Morgana lane still able to get the push down here very, very comfortably. So that's just kind of what Caitlyn does, isn't it?
Are still even in
Okay,
CS.
now here
so
comes Grizz for the first gank. Grizz once again trying to get those solo lanes ahead. Baggins, though, has the slide and glide. Gets underneath the turrets and away from that very scary Zac.
There's a big cooldown to burn already for this Azir. And you know that Grizz can so easily just come back for a repeat gank anytime within the next 5 minutes after he sees Baggins use his dash. And all of a sudden, that's a dead Azir. But a nice usage of the tracking, because, I mean, did the same bot lane.
Into the bot lane. Brasilda, sidesteps the Dark Binding, lands there, so gets the Frostbite as well. And Allegazia will have to flash away.
Very bold out of Allegazia not to use the cleanse there. Held on to it.
Yeah, could have even gone for the cleanse instead of the flash, but just feeling like they needed to create that extra space as the junglers meet in the bot side river. And Ken is being really annoying up here, but does get ruptured a little bit. So a good job from Kevin, able to trade back onto the Mini-Gnar. Bot Scuttle Crab was secured by the Sejuani. Now Zac going to slingshot himself into the Dragon Pit just as Sejuani assaults her way out of it.
All of these lanes, I mean, just having to play differently when you're up against two junglers that can both get going early on as far as ganks are concerned, because Brasilda just has that dash in. I mean, we have already seen Grizz use that elastic slingshot to burn the flash out of Baggins and could easily do so top lane, as they might look for something. There is a ward in that tri-brush, so I don't think that Kevin is in too much trouble, but after that Scuttle Crab is secured, Grizz is just going to walk away.
Relatively successful ganks already for both of these ganking junglers. Grizz, as you say, able to get the flash in the mid lane, and then Brasilda able to counter with the flash off of Allegazia in the bot side. Here comes Brasilda, rupture lands, and the flash, or the Arctic Assault, flash not even needed for the Sejuani, and Brasilda easily able to secure that first blood onto the Gnar.
Deja vu. I feel like I've been here before. Ken falling behind early, has a CS lead. Maybe another kill goes over. I've seen this episode before.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Samsung does. They always get those early game leads.
It did use the teleport to make sure he didn't miss any of that CS, and he's trying to just be annoying to Kevin.
Trying to
Make sure
freeze the wave here.
yeah.
We'll be able to do so. But I imagine when Kevin gets back to lane, he will commit the teleport as well. And they should be able to get that pushed back in, especially with Sejuani still in the area.
Could
Down
they
here
look
on the
for
bottom
a
side.
repeat? No, she's just gonna recall here.
Just making sure that Cho'Gath can reset the wave. And meanwhile, Grizz in the bottom lane. Zach could look for an angle here. The Paint a little bit low on mana. Ken about to go Mega. Has the Mega Gnar available, but Kevin also with his own ultimate. The big Gnar back doesn't get the Cho'Gath into turret range. And Ken not going to be able to continue that one.
I'm surprised he didn't just ult Kevin into the wall there to get
Yeah.
the stun off, because I'm pretty sure he knew he wasn't going to be in turret range. Just tried to get him a little bit closer, or excuse me, a little bit further away from his own turret, but yeah, I think a missed opportunity for a little bit of extra damage, but the refillable potion paying dividends for Kevin.
Ooh, Mini Gnar's got to be careful here. Hops away. This Cho'Gath is looking a little bit hungry up there in the top lane. This Grizz looking to make this another 50-50 on the objective. Seems like Grizz was able to win out in most of those last time around, as the root will come through onto the Zac. Dark Binding connects on Sejuani as well. This shuffle gets the jungler into the pit. It's still secured by Purcell, but then the Sejuani immediately will go down as Hyper flashes over the wall. Zephon will follow, but not quite able to chase down the Jinx. The flash for the Binding, and Paint absolutely nails the skill shot. And it's gonna be the Sacred Phoenix support able to get the second kill of the game for the squad.
Once again, I'm not sure if the ADCs of both teams are just saving their cleanses for next game. I hope they know there's not a next game. But I mean, Hyper could have had time to use that cleanse there. Maybe could have gotten out. But yeah, so
had the heal as well.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% think Hyper could have gotten out there, but not wanting to, I guess, commit too many things all at once and then still dive for it. Dragon does go the way of Samsung Black, but so do 2 kills. And the Stream of Shuffle, I think it was very good. It hit a good number of people, but I think it might have been very advantageous. Yeah, because I mean, if we look here with this Stream of Shuffle after the Rise ult comes in, you're actually pushing Grizz towards the dragon. Like
it was really scary in the moment.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I was like, Baggins, what are you doing, man? He's gonna steal the dragon. But obviously Priscilla was able to secure the Drake. Then the 2 kills go over to Sacred Phoenix. But yeah, Baggins, it looked cool, but you almost just gave the dragon over.
Almost killed the AD carry as well. Hyper just like had all of these members of Silver Phoenix suddenly right in his face, and it was like, oh god, I had to flash over the wall immediately. Seemed like Baggins maybe just not quite on the same. Oh, there's Gnar potentially in trouble there. We'll be able to use his namesake ultimate on the enemy top laner to keep himself safe for the time being. Does still have the flash as well. But yeah, in that fight, it just seemed like Baggins maybe not quite on the same page. Everybody else on SSB was playing to secure the dragon. And Azir is like, guys, we're fighting, right? Let's fight. Went in for the big scoop.
He saw a red, man. He was like, I'm going to kill someone if it's the last thing that I do. But speaking of killing someone, bot lane.
That's a binding that's going to land. A lot of damage onto the Soraka. Here comes Priscilla. The flash away from Allegazia. Very nice. And now Paint trying to go for the Soul Shackles. No way to buy any more time, though. Does get a lot of CC. And it will be the Caitlyn able to trade one back, but now the CC coming back the other way onto Allegazia. And Allegazia trying to do what he can, trying to get the skill onto the Soraka, but it's not going to be enough. The double goes through for Hyper on the Jinx.
Yeah, once again,
Here comes Grizz. Wants to get the stretchy strikes off. Really nice silence there from Tech to deny any more CC from coming through from the Zac. And bot lane able to walk it out.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. Both of these teams, I mean, they're holding their summoner spells for less than opportune times, because Tech had heal there and didn't use it until after Priscilla died. I think he barely missed the Soraka ultimate, the wish to be able to keep Priscilla alive just by like half of a second. And I don't, yeah, I mean, it is better you use those abilities and have the potential of saving your jungler than not using them at all and then just conceding a kill over, because I mean, you can easily make that play. 2 kills for nothing. if you just use heal and wish a little bit earlier, because there's no ignite on the side of Sacred Phoenix that it's going to, oh, I need to wait to use my heals to get the most out of them because the ignite is ticking down. You're going to get the same effectiveness regardless if you use them earlier or late. But yeah, just a little bit of a missed opportunity, but still a 2-for-1 in favor of Samsung.
Yeah, definitely the case. They do come out ahead in that particular scuffle. But Tech perhaps betraying... Okay, Ken going in. He's mega. He's going to get the stun into the wall this time, but Kevin has a lot of HP. And he does also have a jungler. Brasilda is here. Has the ultimate, waiting for Gnar to go mini, perhaps. Gnar actually will just flash away immediately. Ken showing a lot of respect there. And get himself away from the Sejuani. But Tech perhaps betraying a little bit of a lack of comfort on the Soraka. We know that Tech loves to go for the hook champs. Doesn't really love the enchanters or the healers as much. But feeling like the Soraka was the pick this time around. See if we can get those heals to come out a little bit more of a timely fashion, as Ken is walking into a boar riding lady, but does have his own mid jungle rotating over. Azir not moving over here just yet, and Herald's down quite low. Looks like Grizz is going to be able to say TY for leash, able to lock that one down for the side of Silver Phoenix. Able to get themselves their first neutral of the game.
Very good of them to be able to get some more gold into the pockets of the people that they so choose. They have 2 minutes to decide where they want to use that to be able to get some plates off. And once again, Ken and Kevin, they're just trading blows back and forth. Neither of them really has too much of a kill threat right now.
Both have TP.
Yes. Uh-oh.
We have Dragon alive right now. Junglers going to discover each other in the river, but these guys also pretty tanky. Not really a whole lot of kill threat unless there are more people in the area. The Dragon Dance continues. Herald still in tow for Grizz on the Zac. It's Brasilda looking for a play in mid lane. Gets this flash out. Zephon with a nice sidestep. Dodges out on the Glacial Prison. And now the counter gank from Grizz. That's a flash forward for Cho'Gath, but we're watching this mid lane fight first as the Super Mega Death Rocket will sail by just wide left for Hyper as he flashing forward. Doesn't get the Flame Chompers. Grizz had the Black Shield, and now the scoop back. They will be able to get the kill onto the mid laner as a Dark Binding connects onto the Jinx. It's 1 kill going the way of SSB. Should be enough to get them the objective as well. Kevin up here has very little mana to work with. As Ken, a lot of HP. Grizz going in. Gonna get a little bit of CC down. Gets the Let's Bounce as well. Azir, ooh, I think messed up the Shifting Sands there a little bit, but will still be able to escape from underneath the turret. And Sejuani is actually the one on the objective. She has started this one up. But Zephon TP, it's still leashed though. He's gonna teleport straight back to the mid-tier 1. I think the dragon might already be gone. Still about 50% HP on the dragon, but Silver Phoenix, they don't look like they're going to move over to do any contesting.
Yeah, Baggins having that Shurima shuffle on the mid lane play to secure the kill. And that's one of the best things about this Soraka as well, because even after that fight, you're able to just heal back up. You don't have to recall there. Yeah. You're able to just let the Soraka just
it's too late for plates. Oh, tragic pods. The plates just falling down. Grizz not able to get the Shelly placed in time. She will still charge and get about half the HP on that mid-tier 1, but the side of Silver Phoenix not going to get any gold for that.
Yeah, Sacred Phoenix, a missed opportunity right there to be able to get some extra gold into the pockets of whoever they deemed worthy of it, whether that be Ken or Zephon. Zephon already has more kills this game at this point in the game than he did last game. So already doing better in that regard. Has that Rod of Ages and the tier stacking up. Baggins opting for...
Super Mega Death Rocket connects. Baggins shifting in, but gets Rune prisoned underneath the turret. Takes a turret shot for his trouble. Both mid laners walk away. Zephon very close to going down there.
Just barely going to hang on. I was just about to talk about the Leandry's Torment. I'm sorry, Anguish. Is that Torment? Yeah, Anguish. Leandry's Torment was what it was. I'm an old head. I'm sorry. Leandry's Anguish nearly going to kill him there, but just a safe recall behind the tier 2. And
Ken is going to have ult advantage here. Gets the wall up. Does he get the Cho'Gath into the wall this time around? A very nice rupture. The satellite will connect. Ken not going to be able to find the big Gnar. Both top laners trading up here. Sejuani on the top side river. Brasilda could look for another collapse. Gnar doesn't quite have the flash back up yet, but it looks like Ken will show respect to the possibility of the Sejuani gank.
If we look at these mythics that people are starting to get completed. Uh-oh.
Glacial Prison not quite going to land onto the mini Gnar. Ken, one more auto attack means he will get stunned up, but underneath the turret means that Brasilda and Kevin cannot commit any further. And Ken doing a nice job of soaking pressure up here. Now the collapse potentially coming through. Zach gonna look for the slingshot. Does get the knock up onto the Cho'Gath. Will pull him back with the stretchy strikes as well. Kevin may be in some trouble here. Oh, but Ken again cannot quite find the Gnar. And a lot of numbers committed up here, but Silver Phoenix not able to find a kill.
Swing.
We're looking at something on the stream.
Swing.
We're not watching Ken miss any more Mega Gnars. That's just we're not going to do him like that, apparently.
Yeah, Ken with the two strikes so far. One more and he's out. So swing and a miss on this Gnar, but bot lane. This turret could go down here.
It will go down. And so might Zephon, because Baggins had the rotation over to cut off the retreat path. And it will be Baggins on the Azir who picks up his first kill of the game. Meanwhile, Allegazia and Paint, they have been moved over to the mid lane already for a little while now, so they were able to get that tier 1 already taken down. So it is the one turret advantage at the moment for the side of Silver Phoenix. They're down 2 dragons, and it's a Hextech Soul this game, Pods. So the side of Silver Phoenix, Sacred Phoenix, oh my goodness. I'm having such a hard time with that. They need to contest the next dragon, Pods.
Yes, and yeah, for those watching, it is a spectator bug. It is not Mountain Soul. We promise. And it says in the top left, Riot still doesn't want to fix that issue. Yeah, thank you, Observer, for showing the Hextech symbol in right there. But yeah, dragon spawns in less than a minute.
A lot of damage onto Brasilda. Will Arctic Assault away from the Soul Shackles, but the Glacial Prison will be immune by the Black Shield, but Allegazia gets scooped in by Baggins with the Shuriman Shuffle, and now Paint gonna get cleaned up by the Azir as well. Baggins now pretty massive from the mid lane for the side of SSB and Samsung Black. They might be able to get that first win, Pods. They're in the lead.
Never say
They're gonna get Hextech Soul Point, probably.
I mean, like I said, I've seen this episode before. One team gets a lot of dragons. They get an early lead. Ken is behind. I've seen this somewhere before, but granted, Ken is not on a duelist this time around like the Fiora. He is on the Gnar, so a little bit different of a champion as we see him right there taking the Rift Herald, and he's actually not going to finish it. He's teleporting. He's teleporting to the dragon.
Yes, indeed. They want to make this a big old 5v5 in the river, as that's the Sejuani going to charge directly into a Rune Prison, as that's a really nice Let's Bounce from Grizz to perfectly set up the fight. And there's Ken with the amazing follow-up with the Gnar. It's a double kill for Allegazia on the Caitlyn. They take out the AD carry. Hyper will drop as well. And it's going to be Sacred Phoenix with a convincing team fight in the bot side river. Jungler down means this should be a Dragon Spear, but Kevin does have ultimate and flash. Could try and make his way into the pit, but would be a very aggressive call. Probably a one-way trip for the Cho'Gath. And it looks like they will just back away. The solo laners for SSB have to give this one up. And I may owe Tech another apology because I think I just cursed them again.
True, man. You had to go and say something. You had to say that Samsung gonna win, and maybe they win.
I said maybe. I was like, they might get there. It wasn't. I didn't mean to. Sorry.
If you are a Samsung fan in the chat, you're not happy with Crewman right now, but game is not over. Game is not over. That is only one dragon compared to the 2 that Samsung already own. So one dragon is not going to be the end-all be-all for this game, but mythics are starting to come online for all of the players in this game, except for Paint. Paint opted to rush the Zanyas this time around to get more usage out of his ult, just have a little bit more survivability. But Riz, this game, I was talking about a little bit earlier before a fight broke out and I was cut off. The Radiant Virtue on this Zac as well, and Priscilla opting for it as well. I believe Grizz went that on Sejuani last game, so a very recent addition to the mythic item pool with Radiant, and it's certainly paying off for these tank initiators.
Yeah, it's such a great item if you're just trying to frontline and create space for your carries. You know, it gives yourself and I believe everybody near you ability haste when you cast your ultimate. So pretty huge. You know, going to feel really great for Rise, especially able to get out in more rotations of those abilities. Going to feel pretty amazing. And SSB fans, don't at me, please. I can fix it. Watch. Grizz, you know, has been having these incredible engages all game long. It's a certainty that this Zac is going to be able to carry Sacred Phoenix to their second win. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. SSB, they just have no chance at all anymore in this game. As Grizz, I mean, that was probably a visual bug. I'm sure he actually landed that engage. Is actually what happened there.
We will have to get the chrono break in here to be able to fix that.
I'm expecting the pause any second now.
Baggins is saying, hey man, how did I dodge that? That's like insane. But most of the focus for Samsung going to be on this top side. Baron is alive. Both teams could look for it. It would take a long time to take it, but it does look like Sacred Phoenix just looking to take some pressure into the jungle.
Ken with a pretty aggressive hop there. It looks like the movement speed will be enough to get an art of safety. And Hyper, maybe not the same story. One more overload. Zephon finds the kill on the Jinx, who's all alone in the bot lane. And Tech had the wish again available on Soraka.
Yeah, and if you look on the left there, Hyper's cleanse is coming back online right now.
Oh, he didn't have it though.
No. Yeah, there was maybe like 8 seconds on his cleanse at the start of that play. So I feel like had he had that ability, might have been able to kite around, use the little bit of Omnivamp that he does have from the Doran's Blade to be able to keep himself alive. But like we were talking about earlier, Jinx, Soraka, so incredibly immobile. See her right there on your screen. She's saving Wish for next game, man. She doesn't want to use it. It's
I thought they removed double camping like that. I guess not. Just Zac things, maybe?
Zac is his own beast. He does what he wants.
Oh, cute little hop there from Ken. Gets away from the rupture. And lands the boomerang over the wall. Very nicely done from the little Gnar. But has to get away from the Sejuani now.
Let's say little Gnar is scared very much so of the lady riding the big boar.
As he should be. We do have pods, our second Hextech Dragon. Spawning in 45 seconds. Again, it's going to be Hextech's sole point for the side of SSB if they can lock this one down. But River Control seems to currently be held on the other side of things. Sacred Phoenix currently have control over the area. Do you think the plan for SSB should just be to give this over, or do you think they're going to move into contest? We have teleport for both solo laners.
I mean, maybe you could look to try and sneak the Baron if you really felt like it, but does look like Sacred Phoenix are setting a bush trap right here. 3-man strong, and Tech is...
Yeah, so they're going to face track. That is who you want to face track. Zac over the top, though, lands the slingshot onto Tech. Soraka going to go for the wish. Nice and early in this fight, but Sejuani still running out of HP. Alagazia just way too much damage on this Caitlyn. There's no follow-up from the side of SSB. It's Azir rooted over the wall, flashing away. The shuffle comes out as well. Azir using everything just to escape underneath his own turret. And Sacred Phoenix, they have full control over this entire quadrant of the jungle, and they will be able to get their second dragon of the game.
I think there's just so many missed opportunities from Samsung. Because, I mean, look at Baggins. Look at his ward slot. What do you see? You see a blue trinket. You can, instead of having your Sejuani face check there, just use the blue trinket. Yeah, and, like, if you don't get anything, then okay. But if you put it in that bush right there, you reveal 3 people, and then all of a sudden you're able to contest this dragon. But now you no longer have that dragon advantage, and all of your jungle is in the hands of Sacred Phoenix.
Yeah, I hear you, Pods, but if you use the blue trinket for the bush next to the red buff, then you don't have a blue trinket for the dragon pit. As Paint, maybe a little bit caught out here, has the black shield, but it does get broken over the wall by the Azir. Paint gonna go golden, trying to buy a little bit of time. It's gonna be Baggins, though, with the spear. One more thrust will finish off the Morgana, and Azir picks up number 3. Baggins 3-0-2 right now from the mid lane for SSB. Halfway towards death cap as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking, is he going to go for the death cap third item, or is that rod
Actually,
going to build into something else? But
already has his second rod in the bank also, just about 1,000 gold away from a very cool hat.
he will be the prettiest princess at the party with that hat. And I mean, yeah, you can look at the gold right there, almost 1,000 gold up on Zephon right there. Just barely not the highest gold person on the Rift. Allegazia has him by a little bit, but it is basically even in that regard. And he goes back and buys that second needlessly large rod, and he's that much closer. I mean, and it's not, and at the opportune time, because this Baron is spawning. So as I already spawned, but looking in the eyes of Sacred Phoenix, they want that big purple worm.
SSB cannot be caught sleeping this time around. Sacred Phoenix is testing them again. Sejuani in the area. Gnar off on the flank. Oh, he's just going to jump over the wall. He's straight onto the Jinx. Hyper immediately flashing away, trying to stay alive. The Gnar goes mega. Can the satellite connect? It does. And he's going to flash in. The cleanse comes out this time. But one more satellite. Oh, barely going to go wide. Tech committing the wish this time. Saves the AD carry. Ken jumping away. And Gnar's away the Cho'Gath. But he was successful in being very, very distracting. The prison connects, though, from Brasilda. Can they get the frostbite? They can't. Even the smite coming down as well. The Gnar is just going to happily hop away. And it's Baron on all 5 for the Phoenix.
Yeah, the tunnel vision from Samsung right there. Yeah, your Jinx is in trouble, but you know they're on Baron. Like, you know that there's a reason this Gnar is being so incredibly aggressive. Because, I mean, he's not just going to do that because he wants to have fun with Hyper. He's doing that to solely be a distraction. And, I mean, who knows? Maybe Samsung didn't know that they were on the Baron. And then once Grizz secured it, they're like, wait a minute, they were on Baron? But regardless of what happened, this is a big power play that Sacred Phoenix can make. How much of this map can they take control of now? Is I can imagine Zyphon is going to take this bot, and you have Ken split pushing on the top side. It is more of the same from last game. The split pushing power, the 1-3-1. It's back.
Yeah, 3,000 gold lead for Sacred Phoenix. They just play around Ken in the side lane so well. Communication clearly very, very strong between the top laner and the rest of the team. Ken always knowing what he needs to be doing. Dark Finding connects in mid, only onto the Sejuani. As the Baron Siege will continue for the next 90 seconds or so. You can see Zephon, the 1-3-1, fully activated, as you were just saying, Pods. Rise off in the bottom lane as we see Ken continuing to do work in the top side. There we see Morgana and Grizz covering for Rise on the split push as Ken jumping forward, finds the wallop, gonna get the Gnar, gets the stun into the wall. Kevin in trouble, forced to flash away from that second wallop. Super Mega Death Rocket connects, but Gnar still relatively healthy, still winning out against this Cho'Gath. Has the 2-level lead, dodges away from the Rupture, under the turret, the Boomerang. Ken finds the solo kill under the turret. Kevin, not on the Ornn, just doesn't seem to stand a chance.
Yeah, Kevin getting too big for his britches right there. Just walking forward, not paying respect. Because it's not like Ken is going the alpha tank Gnar build. He's got a Divine Sunder. He's got a Black Cleaver. He's got a pickaxe in his inventory. He is going to actually deal damage to you, regardless of how much armor and ninja tabbies or heartsteel, how much you have. It doesn't matter. He is going to still do damage, especially with that 3 auto attack passive. And now that Kevin is down, this dragon is so much, it looks so much more enticing to Sacred Phoenix, but yeah, numbers are even.
Started up very, very comfortably, and Kevin, excuse me, does have the teleport to get back over here, but he's going to have to stop Ken's split push in the top lane instead. They're just holding the dragon aggro for now, as Rupture will land this time. To be fair to Kevin, that was his first death of the game, and he's looking for revenge now as Mininar is pretty low on HP, and he is going to get feasted on. But how does this fight like? Oh, Baggins with another big sweep gets the kill onto Allegazia. The 80 carry already dropped. Baggins doing so much damage in this fight. It's only Zach and Zephon left alive now. Grizz forced to flash over the wall. Rise walking it out as well. And just like that, it's SSB. They stop Ken's split push. They get themselves the Hextech Dragon. And they're fighting back. They're not out of this game just yet.
That is Soul Point up on the board for Samsung. We're going to see a replay of that last fight and see how it went, because there was a split fight top and mid, or sorry, around that Dragon Pit. I mean, you can see there Baggins doing so much work, and then Kevin TP's in and is just a giant menace that you can't really do anything, forcing Grizz to flash over the wall, then Xiphon to just sort of concede it, because I mean, he knows he can't kill Kevin with the amount of like combos that he can do. It'll maybe take like 10% of his HP out, and then Kevin says, "Oh, your full combo's gone. I'm just gonna eat you now." Like, it's not much that Xiphon can do there. Great team fight out of Samsung. They are not wanting to go 0-2. They are wanting to fight back, and Baron spawns in a little under a minute 30. So we might see a contest around there, and hopefully not just another sneaky play from Sacred Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely need to see SSB with a little bit of better vision control in that topside river. But really well played from Kevin in that last exchange, able to get the kill onto the Mininar and topside, and then immediately teleporting into that dragon fight to help make sure that that objective could be secured. Quickly gets his revenge from that solo kill that came through for Ken.
Everyone from Sacred Phoenix rotating towards this top side, clearing out vision in the jungle, clearing out in the river. And a big spike that I want to talk about, Ken picks up the Death's Dance. That'll make it so much better in these 1v1s against Kevin, and in the team fights in general, to survivability as well as just damage overall. But it is going to be Ken and Baggins who are going to meet each other in this bot lane, 4v4 in this river. Who will start the fight first? Grizz goes for the clear.
Azir should be able to match the Gnar a little bit more comfortably, should be able to wave clear a little bit more easily than the Cho'Gath, and is the one with TP as well. So, like Baggins being the one to match Ken down here, for now at least. Still jockeying for position, jockeying for vision in that topside river. As Ken, going in, gets scooped underneath the Azir turret, immediately flashes out from underneath it. Baggins has all the soldiers in position, getting a lot of damage out. Ken looking for the solo kill, cannot find it. Level 18 Azir beats level 18 Gnar in the 1v1. That was Azir with death cap completed. Ken almost won, but didn't quite have it. And now 5v4 on the map. Ken's over-aggressive play in the side lane could spell disaster for the side of Sacred Phoenix, but Grizz is still alive. Has that secret ward on the edge of the pit that's not blocked by the controller. Grizz going in pretty early, though. They're looking for the 4v5 fight. Grizz getting stunned up on the front side of things. Super Mega Death Rocket really good onto the back line from Hyper. Grizz running out of HP, but really low from the front line of SSB, as well as a couple of kills come through. The Azir critically will drop as a binding connects onto Kevin. It's Grizz with a re-engage. I imagine has the passive as well. Gets a lot of CC down now. Hyper will get taken out. It's Allegazia that's able to get the damage down. And Cho'Gath will drop as well. It looked so good for a moment there for SSB. I thought that they were going to be able to control the objective, but in the end, it's Sacred Phoenix with some great team fighting from behind. It was Grizz with the incredible engage, and they come out way ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, crewman, but that's the first time Grizz's passive has been popped all game.
You might be right there, Pods.
I don't, yeah, he's not even come close to dying. And even after he got back from the passive there, he had over half of his HP because none of the blobs were killed. So very good team fighting from Grizz and the gang to secure Baron. And what's even more important, this Mountain, I'm sorry, Hextech, the spectator bug, it trolled me. Hextech Dragon is spawning in less than a minute. They will still have Baron. And they
already got the top inhibitor too.
Yeah, that is going to, the wave of that should crash right as the Dragon spawns, but we do see Kevin is going to try and shove out top
Here
wave,
comes
but
Grizz.
fight.
Gets the flash out of tech immediately. Kevin does have the TP. As 15 seconds now on the Dragon.
That's actually pretty serious. Grizz already at half HP, and there's some pings towards the top side. Will they try and look to dive onto Ken? So they're just conceding this Dragon?
I guess they are. I mean, it's not soul for their opposition.
What is this play, though? Why?
Maybe they just feel like they don't have enough vision in the area. They don't want to go for a team fight, because if they lose the fight, they probably just lose the game since enemy team has Baron, so they're going for the punish onto Ken instead. But the Gnar is really tanky, able to Gnar and crush away. And Ken is just fine. Hextech soul point now secured, as that was very cheeky from the Mega Gnar. Not quite able to stop the back, though.
Yeah, I don't really know if I agree too much with that play from Samsung, because I mean, even like the inhibitor's already gone. Kevin had shoved out the wave, so yeah, the wave will be pushing in, but by the time the fight gets over, you'll be able to get back and then save one of your Nexus turrets, because keep in mind, if you get that Dragon, that's soul. That is Hextech soul, and all of a sudden your team fights are so much better than they already are with that chaining of the lightning and everything throughout the fight. But they just concede the Dragon over, and now Sacred Phoenix are the ones who are on soul point as well. And now you cannot afford to let them get this next Dragon, because all of a sudden Grizz is going to do a lot more damage on this Zac despite having 0 damage items.
Yeah, definitely the case. This game really comes down to the wire. It is a 10k gold lead on the side of Sacred Phoenix, but SSB, it really doesn't feel like it. SSB is fighting tooth and nail. They're able to get some good angles despite the severe gold deficit. They're going to need to find some more. Kevin and Baggins are both really, really strong. Jinx also, 4 items completed for Hyper. It's all going to come down to this next team fight.
Just as you say that, I want to point your attention over to Allegazia, who is full build now. Finished that 5th item off that last recall. So Hyper does do a lot of damage, has that Runaan's Hurricane, has the Infinity Edge, and the Kraken Slayer. Allegazia, I think, it will be a secret key to this next fight. And more of the same of these bush tactics for Sacred Phoenix, wanting to try and catch whoever they can roaming through their own jungle. And the vision for Samsung is just so barren. All you have is that short little pocket of vision in your bot side jungle. Other than that, it is pitch black around the map.
Oh, nice zap to scout the bush from Hyper. They spot out the Gnar. Ken gonna get assaulted on, but Grizz is ready to slingshot himself into the fray. Here he comes, gets the stretchy strikes down, only onto the Cho'Gath. No knockback gonna come through, but the Gnar into the wall onto Sejuani. Dark Binding gonna connect as well, and Allegazia there for the follow-up. And Paint is gonna be able to secure the enemy jungler. Grizz into the backline already with Stilet's bounce, and Sacred Phoenix, they are not gonna wait for the objectives. They're not going to wait for anything. They're going to go straight for the team fight, and they will win it. Hyper, the last one standing, trying to get out those autos as the Jinx, but the flash forward for Zephon will be able to secure the last kill. And Sacred Phoenix go 2-0 again, meaning 4-0 altogether after the first 2 weeks of play. And Samsung Black, tragically, falling short once again. 4 out of 4 games. They found an early game lead, but 4 out of 4 games, they have not been able to hold on to it, as it's Sacred Phoenix that secure the win in Game 2.
I thought Hyper might have been able to, go have that Reddit pop-off moment with Jinx where you get the resets, where you get excited and you keep running around and doing so much damage, but sadly wasn't able to get it. And Samsung just not able to find the win. I mean, doing so much, but once again, Sacred Phoenix finding those team fights that they need, playing the unconventional guerrilla warfare, if you will, just hiding in the brushes, waiting for someone to face check them and saying, oh, peekaboo, you have no vision, therefore you're gonna die. And so much CC all around. You have the Morgana binding, you have Zac, you have Gnar, you have Caitlyn, you have so much form of CC that if you hit any of them on a single target, they are just stunned for eternity.
Yeah, there's just so many ways to catch people out with this composition from Sacred Phoenix, right? And we saw it so many times this game. Grizz getting in there with a slingshot or just a rupture, or like a satellite landing from Gnar just to get the slow means that some more CC, and it's very easy to come through, as you say. And it looked to me like the side of Sacred Phoenix, they just had kind of better coordination on the day. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They played around Ken so well, as I mentioned earlier in the side lane, really impressed by the top laner's performance. And Allegazia and Paint down there in the bot 2v2 were just absolutely unstoppable as well.
Yeah, just playing their composition to perfection. I know I'm trying to look at the overview of this game. I mean, it was relatively even. Yeah, it was relatively even going into the 19-minute mark, and then all of a sudden it just kept going and going and going the way of Sacred Phoenix. Not much you can do there. They finished the game, for those curious, up 12,000 gold. Holy moly.
And it really showed in that last team fight. Like, the side of SSB, they were able to find a couple of angles, but once it was the side of Sacred Phoenix that was able to find a clean engage, they definitely hit him with the wallets, and it didn't really look all that close in the end, despite the fact that this game was very close for the vast majority of it. But that is going to do it for this particular match. Who is your POG for Game 2 there, Pods?
I mean, once again, I think it has to go to Grizz. Died once. His passive was popped once, and that was at the very end of the game. So it wasn't like he was playing this really passive Zac and he stays in the back line and doesn't want to, I don't want to die, I don't want to get hurt. He was in the front every single time, the one pushing the gas pedal all the way down, saying, we're going to fight, I'm going to be in the middle, I'm going to do so much CC. It's just he played his composition with the rest of his team so well that even though he was in the front and taking so much damage and fighting constantly, he knew his limitations and the limitations of his team, and was able to say, all right, this is a good fight, or no, this is a bad fight. And they were able to work as a team. But I think he was really the spearhead of that entire composition.
Absolutely fantastic. I like it a lot. 1 death for Grizz across 2 games. Some really fantastic engages. Well played across the board for Sacred Phoenix. 4-0 now. Looking really strong in Season 5 of the CWL. After the break, guys, we will be, as previously mentioned, moving up to Division 1 to catch the rest of the set between Jacint 6699 and SHT United. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with CWL right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CWL for our third game of the night. We are going to see Shitten United on the blue side, and X United, excuse me, on the blue side, and J69 on the red side. It's going to be a very exciting matchup, moving up to Division 1, as we mentioned before. And the team captains, both playing from the ADC position and pods, they both do enjoy a little bit of Caitlyn, which is immediately going to be banned away.
Yeah, we saw the power of Caitlyn in the right hands in those last two games. So when it is a higher elo person piloting that, it's even more threatening. But we could see a potential focus around Jinx as well. Both of these teams like to have that, and Jinx was pretty decent in this last game, but Samira actually going to be the one hovered by SPX, but is going to be locked in is the Xayah.
You know, you can see that AD carry priority coming through already. The Xayah immediately locked in for SPX. And the Zeri on the other side of things. So a couple of very strong scaling picks. Both pretty good at team fighting, but on SPX's side, a little bit more focused on kiting back versus Zeri, a little bit more flexible in how she wants to play out these exchanges. And there is the Sejuani, another really high priority pick going over the way of Jacinto.
Yeah, could we potentially see a Rakan Xayah that has been very popular in a lot of pro play? Ivern hovered? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe it's a pocket pick. I'm not sure. But you already have the Vi locked in, so I don't see why you would choose Ivern here. Nope, Rel is going to be... I haven't seen Rel in a pretty decently long time. It's not that she's been bad. It's just that she hasn't been the most active in the meta. But I do like it pairing with the engage of Mr. Bakauha on this Vi. But Jana, what is with these? I haven't seen either of these supports in so incredibly long.
Well, Wiggy is actually most played as Rel. 29 games this season, 62% win rate, so a bit of a comfort pick for the SPX support. And over on the other side of things, I think the Jana also makes a lot of sense, actually. You know, we did see it in the LEC towards the end of their winter split. I believe it was Trimby that pulled out the Jana. I don't think that he succeeded on the pick, but I think it does make sense in theory when you're going against Rel and Vi, right? All of this engage. The Monsoon can be very difficult for these champions to deal with, pushing them away from those targets they are going to work so hard to get on top of.
Yeah. And are some top lane and mid lane focuses out of these second round of bans? Jax, Camille, Fiora, all those top lane bans going their way, and a little bit of Silas as well. Never hurt no one, throwing that out there, because there are some decent ultimates to steal on the side of Jacinto 6699. With the Azir, you have the Sejuani, but Twisted Fate, another off meta pick. Nope, Victor is going to be locked in anyway. Victor, a lot more meta of a champion, and surely not.
We're not even going to address it. It's just don't get baited by the hover spots. Come on now. Let's try to keep up.
A man can hope, can he not? Oh, come on.
I don't. Oh, okay. Moving on. The Victor should feel very comfortable, I think, into the Azir. This is a matchup that we've seen many, many times, especially in pro play. You know, this is very common. That R5 lock-in, Riven, going to be the selection for Nettles. So a very exciting pick in the top lane. What do you think about that R5 Riven into the Gnar?
So I think into the Gnar, it's going to be, a very big skill matchup. It is going to be something where Nettle is going to be put to the test, because like we saw in last game, when the Gnar has free reign against a solely melee champion, he can do a lot, but Riven has a lot of movement. Riven has a lot more movement than that Cho'Gath that we saw last game. Plus, Riven did get a buff in this last patch. Her passives on whenever she uses her ability, she gets the empowered auto attacks. Those no longer only affect champions, but they can affect turrets as well. So she might be more of a threat in this split push than she already is. So we'll have to see how well Nettles can use it. But if you get far behind, Riven is another one of those champions that it is so incredibly hard to get back into it if you don't either stay even or get a lead.
It is a champion that should pair, again, very well with the Sejuani. So if the side of Pazzo wants to make any early looks towards that top lane, could potentially punish the Gnar. Gnar didn't end up really getting punished very hard in the previous game that we just watched, but maybe in Division 1, Gnar does have the chance to get punished a little bit more. We'll just have to wait and see. But this bot lane, I think, deserves a little bit more discussion. You know, the Xayah is a little bit of a defensive pick, but so is the Janna. So do you think that's going to sort of neutralize and give us a net sum of 0 in the bot lane where nobody really wants to go in and go for any kind of aggression? Or do you think the Rel is going to look for some aggressive plays onto the Zeri Janna? Because if Zeri just gets a free lane, then she's going to be feeling in a pretty comfy spot, right? So what are you expecting down here?
Yeah, so I'm looking at Nyan on this Janna to just completely nullify Wiggy's, because keep in mind, whenever Wiggy's uses that W, I forget the name of it, but where she jumps onto you essentially with the horse and then goes into the person mode, she is infinitely slower when she is like that and when she's not on the horse. So if you are able to counteract that, so she doesn't even get the knockup, all of a sudden Scarecrown on this Zeri is just going to have free reign to just go ham on Rel and just say, all right, I'm just going to absolutely destroy you. I'm just going to absolutely wreck you with that. Logic tagged us in the chat with something. I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, as we were saying, all right. Once again, crewman, do you want to acknowledge what Logic said? Or?
Yeah. Pirates is going to be the mid laner for Jacinto6699. And someone in Twitch chat is a very big fan of this individual and would like to potentially procreate with them, which is very exciting stuff, but not really all that relevant to the matter at hand. Really quickly before we go to break here, Pods, do you have a prediction for us? Do you like one of these drafts better? Really interesting picks on both sides.
Yeah, I love the draft out of... I love both of these drafts, but I think Jacinto has the advantage just with the amount of CC and counter engage / re-engage with their composition. You have the Emperor's Divide, you have the Monsoon, you have the Ribbon split pushing. I think there's so many different ways that if you are Jacinto, you can play this composition, whereas SPX...
I'm going to have to cut you off right there. We're about to get into our break. We'll see if the composition from Jacinto can make it happen, and if they're going to make the potential lover in the chat very, very happy. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, CWL fans, one more time onto the Rift for us tonight from the studio. It's the first meeting between these two teams, actually first game of the season, I believe, for SHTX United. Jacinto, unfortunately, going down 0-2 in their own debut last week. So just like SSB in our previous match, Jacinto looking for their first game win still on the red side for this one. A little bit of a bush stack. Neon finds the tornado, and Luke Jongo going to take quite a bit of damage, but not going to go down or anything like that.
Was not able to get the ward down as Logic is zooming in on that Janna skin. As a prestige, oh goodness, I'm testing my knowledge here. Prestige something hollow Janna. I forget the name of it, but someone in chat will know. Maybe the one who wanted to procreate with pirates, since he knows so much about Jacinto. Maybe he knows what that skin is called. But even off of that play, Jacinto was able to get a ward on the red buff of SHTX, so have a little bit of a vision advantage there. They is going to be swept out, but they still know exactly where they are.
Yeah. Information obtained for the side of Jacinto. But 10 gold obtained for the side of SHTX United. So pretty even trade, I would say.
It's already GG, man. That's all. That's all the gold diff you need.
Looks like Vi might be going for the fast level 3 here, going straight towards the Raptors from the red buff. So Mr. Bakalhu potentially looking to be active early on, which Vi is pretty good at. Wiki's dismounted at the moment. This can be a very threatening position for Rel, as she does get the flip over the shoulder when you land an auto attack on a champion in this form. But as you kind of mentioned already earlier, Pods, you move very slowly, so it can be difficult to actually make that happen.
Yeah, she is waiting to get that nice opportunity. I think waiting for SHTX maybe to get a root onto either of them and then pop it, because that'll be a devastating amount of CC and burst damage if they're able to pull it off. Plus, you have the stun on Rel's E as well, so they're able to make that work even more so. The attract and repel.
Yeah, tough to set up a blade caller as any kind of engage tool, though. Kind of hard to land that offensively. And we were kind of thinking, coming out of the draft, this might be a little bit of a sleeper bot lane, just because, of the disengage options on both sides and the scaling nature of the marksman picks. They might not feel very obligated on either side to look for any aggressive looks early on here.
Might look for an aggressive look. Is this top side, though? Patau is rotating up here, is going to be spotted out by the ward in the river brush. But he's going to have control over this top side Scuttle Crab. Mister is going to take the bottom side Scuttle Crab. So nothing too crazy out of these junglers, though Patau does have a little bit of a CS advantage because Mister decided to give up his...
Oh, Wiggy flashed for it, but couldn't quite find it. Scarecrow too quick. Just with a little dash back. Oh, but the root comes through from the Blade Caller. Sets up for the Vault Breaker. Oh, Scarecrow thought he was safe. Thought he had dodged out on the engage. But SHTX nails him with the feathers. And Mr. Bakalhau nails him with the fist. First blood goes to the Xayah.
Yeah, Wiggy's right there. I don't know if you saw it, but sadly we're not able to get it on the stream, I believe. But Wiggy's, whenever he flashed in, hit a minion instead of Scarecrow. So it got rid of the passive. So I thought right then and there, okay, that's the end of the play. But by able to use the Q over the wall, be able to get some nice damage, and the lockdown from SHTX's Xayah. Yeah, be able to make it work.
And it's only right that SHTX gets paid for it as well. Exactly where you want the money also, if you're a SHTX United fan.
It'd be very good. Already coming back to lane with Noon Quiver.
Yeah. Base, yeah. Said that at the same time. Look at that caster synergy, Pops.
That's right, man. That's right. North Americans think alike. Whether that's a good thing or not is up to interpretation. But
leaving that right there. We do have our first dragon. Going to be an ocean this time around. Just spawned onto the rift. And with the little bit of a bot lane advantage for the side of ShipX, maybe they could prioritize this. Vi also very good at taking these early dragons, just as a champion. I'm also very curious to see what kind of build Mr. Bacalhau goes for on the Vi here. You may remember pods, or maybe not, but I was a bit of a Vi aficionado, a bit of a one-trick for quite a while, so I do love me some Vi play. And there's, been a couple of new builds floating around recently. Notably, the item that we've seen so much. Okay, Wiggy's looking for it. Gets the flip over the shoulder. The attract repel. Gets the stun for a second there, but the Blade Caller not able to come out in time. Scarecrown just loses a little bit of HP. We'll be okay for now. And Wiggy's dismounting once again. Gonna get another shoulder flip locked and loaded. Just gotta wait on the cooldown now for the remount. And Vi is here again. Speaking of the devil, Mr. Bacalhau, Wiggy is going in. Doesn't have the flash right now, but does get the flip onto the Janna, and Ignite comes down as well. The flash in. Vi commits the summoner spell, doesn't even get the assist, unfortunately. I said we'll go over to ShipX, 2-0 now on the Xayah. Starting to feel really, really strong. Pato, rather, looking for something on the top side, but Luke Yongo able to play just very safe on this Gnar.
I love what I'm seeing from Wiggy. He knows that if he tries to go for the mounted W, and it's just going to be canceled by Nyan with the tornado. So instead, just opting for just doing the dismount in the bush, so Nyan is not able to see that. Hex flashing out, Wing, because then it just it throws a wrench in like Nyan, because it's like, all right, I'm prepared to cancel this W. All of a sudden, it's not the one you're thinking of, and then you sort of panic because you're like, okay, do I use Tornado here? Do I wait for him to use the W again, or like what do I do? And it turns out, if you don't do either, you just die. So Nyan and Scarecrown both already sitting out of death a piece. ShipX getting a lot of gold to his name already, and will finish that mythic item, I think, very, very soon. Which, if you let this Xayah just have free reign, same thing like the Zeri. If you let either of them have their way in this lane, you are not going to be able to stop them come late game.
Yeah, Xayah is going to be really, really tough to deal with for sure. And Wiggy's Realm Mastery already on full display in this first game, as Luke able to get a lot of good damage down onto the Riven up here. Range advantage coming through very nicely for the Gnar.
Wasting a lot of time around this mid lane, both Nyan and Pato. Just, I mean, they want something, but you can't just sit around and wait for it to come to you. You either have to force it or just try for something different. Because, I mean, just look by. They've already got this their second plate.
Yeah. They're just chipping away at this turret. ShipX unanswered down here. Eventually, Zeri and Janna will make it back to lane. But as you say, turret already gone over. Pirates looking for it now. Not willing to commit, though, for the play. And Vi sees Sejuani moving in. Gonna go for the season desist onto the Pigeon. The flash and the shuffle come out. But a very worthy trade, as Mr. Bacalhau only had to commit his own ultimate and pushes Azir completely out of lane as well. Look at that health bar. Pirates almost went down to the Victor dot. Barely able to survive.
I think it's very important that he did not die there, because if he does die, not only do you get that kill, they shove in the turret there, they get some plates, and then they go to this Herald. So they're not able to get more plates anywhere yet, but I think this Herald is still going to go over to them. It will be a 3v3. You see ShipX rotating there right now, so he will get there before Pirates does. And yeah, this Herald just going to go over to the side of ShipX and be able to maybe push bot in a little bit more and take that turret fully with the Herald if they use it here soon.
2 minutes on the next dragon, and already 2 plates claimed in that bot lane makes that turret definitely a prime target for Shelly. Try and get that first brick money. I don't think any plates have been claimed in any of these lanes for the side of Jacinto just yet. They are already down about 2k gold 10 minutes in. Pretty sizable gold difference for this point in the game.
I think
Gnar about 20 CS in this top lane.
I think what Jacinto has going for them, though, is all of that gold is onto SHTX. It's not spread around. So if you're able to kill him, but speaking of kill, Luke might be in some trouble.
Oh, he certainly might be, as Bato going to go in, going to land the Arctic Assault. Luke going to immediately flash away. Glacial Prison still connects, though, and Mega Gnar is not going to be Mega for too much longer. He goes mini now, but he has his jungler in the area. Mister is going to try and do a little bit of peeling the Vault Breaker away, try and create a little bit of space, and it looks like the evacuation of the top laner has been successful.
Very big missed opportunity from Jacinto right there. Not able to secure the kill onto Luke. And once again, this bot lane shoving in the turret. Might get another plate. No, I think the minion's going to die before they're able to secure it. But even still, I mean, you either got to get something going on the other side of the map, or you got to try and get Scarecrow and John back in the game. But
the sweep. Fly away, not able to pick up... Well, does get it right towards the end there. Takes one turret shot. But Pirates committing the ultimate. It's a little bit of a positive trade, but not much else.
Yeah, just a little bit premature, I think, from Pirates. Fly away did not get the amount of turret aggro that Pirates would have wanted to be able to secure the kill or even burn a flash out of him. So that'll be a very big cooldown that is not available for this dragon that spawns in 20 seconds. But Patao...
Oh, Pato... does not have his own ultimate either. Don't think it's going to matter, though, as Frostbite comes through. The last auto attack is good, but Vi down here in the bottom side gets the cease and desist onto the Zeri, and Scarecrow will drop for the second time this game.
Not much you can do from a unstoppable ultimate like the cease and desist. Now the Herald placed by, and this is surely the end of the life for this turret. But there's two down there. Maybe they can save it. Jana shield on the turret.
Yeah, Jana Shield doing a little bit of work. SHTX very nicely able to sidestep the tornado, and I think Xayah should still be able to lock this one down as Nettles looking for it. Has ult available, but needs to be careful. It's when these, when Gnar is able to get these trades back on you as you run away, that can be really dangerous. Going back in now, though, has the ultimate activation ready to go. The Wind Slash for the kill. Nettles finds it. The R5 Riven counterpick, showing its stuff up there in the top lane. But on the other side of the map, second dragon has been secured by SHTX United.
Yeah, Luke not respecting the amount of potential burst damage out of Nettles right there. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Riven's ultimate executes.
It does have execute damage, yes.
Yeah, I thought it did. So not only doing that, but because if I hear
another sweep, it's back off cooldown, and Fly in a whole lot of trouble this time. A pretty nice gravity field, but not nice enough. And Pirates will finally get paid.
Yeah, big pick up onto the victor once again, utilizing that he does not have flash, utilizing that you are able to have some vision, at least a little bit, of where everyone is, or have an inkling of where they might be, knowing this victor is just going to fall to Pirates, and Pirates getting slowly but surely ahead. But will it be enough to stop all of the gold being funneled into SHTX? That's even more plates into the Xayah's pocket.
Really nice from SHTX United. After getting the bot tier 1, they immediately sent the Xayah into that top lane to get a little bit of extra plate money. Feels really, really nice. In addition to those 3 kills, Xayah is now more than 2,000 gold ahead of the Zeri individually. That's an absolutely massive lead in the AD carry position. Team captain for SHTX United leading the charge as they look to have a strong showing in their first match of the season.
The Sejuani is topside, could look to try and make a play happen. There are so many wards, though, in the jungle of Jacinto, so not going to be easy if you want to make a rotation up to the top side. That is where, see, so sometimes we underestimate how much is worth in vision and investing in control wards, or investing in just taking a scuttle crab or something like that. Because by having those wards, you completely nullify the Pirates.
He has the sweep again, and he just barely clips Victor at the very edge of the hitbox there. Fly still no flash, no way out of this one. The Comet comes down, and Pirates gets number 2.
Yeah, I think they're really getting into the head of Fly Away here, because that's 3 times within the past 3 or 4 minutes that he's not had flash, and you've punished him for it. And yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do, because I mean, you can't go top because that's where your bot lane is. You can't go 1v1 the Riven in that lane, or else you'll die. So I mean, you're in a really rough spot. But Mr. Bacall.
They do successfully steal away the red buff, but Glacial Prison comes out. Scarecrown here with the Spark Surge. Oh, an amazing engage from Wiggy. Locks up everybody with the Magnet Storm. And now the Cease and Desist comes through onto the Azir. Pretty good tornado to buy a little bit of space. Scarecrown coming back into the fight, but it's SHT still with the Feather Storm available. Immediately takes out the enemy carry, but oh, Nettles going back in. Almost had the kill onto the marksman, but can't quite find it in the end. The Riven almost had a highlight play, but not able to find it. And Luke flashing under the turret to get that last kill. Goes Mega, survives the last turret shot. It's a 4-for-1 fight. SHT United in the top side jungle.
Actually a 5-for-1. It was a 15-minute ace, my friend.
Goodness.
Yeah, that if you are a Jacinto fan, that is not something you are wanting to see. Just an unlucky turn of events. We're going to have a replay of that last team fight, and it was a good look, but an even better counter engage out of Wiggies and Mr. Bacall. And I don't know exactly what Scarecrown was doing. Maybe just hit the wrong button, but Nettles, I thought was going to be able to get a lot going here. Almost picked up the kill onto SHT. Yeah, but
close.
Yeah, the Blade Caller just pulling that back and being able to finish it off.
Riven in the air with Q3. Just needed another half second of being alive to actually get that kill onto the Xayah, but wasn't able to find it. SHT playing it out extremely well, and now has the Kraken Slayer Quick Blade spike. Insane spike for the Xayah right now at this point in the game. Just needs to wait until that Feather Storm comes back off cooldown, and SHT will be untouchable in this next fight.
Could see a potential fight for this dragon. Spawns in about 20 seconds. Herald is on the board as well, but the Vision game is going to go over to Jacinto for the time being. They have the Prio, 2 control wards and brushes, but they are pinged, so they do know that they are there. That does not make it any easier. And they see, oh.
SHT has to be careful. No ult just yet. Gets caught by the sweep and gets shut down. That's Nettles with the maxed out shutdown onto the enemy marksman. Absolutely massive pick for Jacinto. And now they can make their way over to the dragon. I can't imagine that the side of SHT will contest without their AD carry.
Yeah, I think they are just going to concede it and rotate towards the Herald, which even then they... Jacinto might be able to contest if they feel like it.
Yeah, the Azir and Janna moving over. Pirates and Neon potentially looking to contest, but the rest of the team not here. Looks like Herald will go down in favor of SHT. Not the objective they were hoping for, but the objective that they will take. They might lose tier 1 in mid for it as well, though. No, minion wave gets cleared. Scarecrown slowed up as the little dash. A very nice tornado for disengage from Neon.
They could place it right here, though, and have a very big push if they want to, though. They have the inside track.
Still no resets have come through from Jacinto. They're not even going to need Shelly to get this tier 1.
They're going to place it anyways, though.
They sure will. See if they can get the charge onto the tier 2. Pirate is going to have the Shuriman Shuffle back off cooldown in just a moment. Has the turret as well, and Shelly only going to commit onto the Azir turret, so second Rift Herald not really getting too much value.
Yeah, I think Mr. Bacall just underestimated how much damage they could do to that turret. They thought they might need it to be able to destroy it, but no, you could have held it and maybe placed it top because that turret's pretty low top lane. There are some on-the-way pings from the side of Jacinto to be able to go protect that because I see Fly Away pushing that wave right there. But yeah, I think a little bit just jumping the gun on using that Herald early on, and now the Infernal Dragon that you traded for it is going to pay even more dividends than your Herald destroying the Azir turret.
Yeah, feels really great for pretty much everybody on the side of Jacinto, right? Riven, Azir, and Zeri all going to get a whole bunch of value out of that even single Infernal Dragon stack. A very nice Mega Gnar from Luke there to get away from the pesky Riven.
Mythic items coming online for most everybody. Mr. Bacall had opted for the Rift Herald. Sorry, not Rift Herald. They were in the Rift Herald pit, and it just distracted me.
That isn't Rift Herald's pit anymore.
Yeah, it is now the Baron pit this time. Yeah, but opted for the Black Cleaver instead of going for a mythic item soon. But Luke and Nettles, just battling out in this 1v1. I think it's more of just a skill matchup right now because I think both of them can kill the other one if given enough time. I think Luke can do it, but Nettles likes those small engages. Gonna do some damage and then hop back out. And even with this gold differential, like I was saying, if you're a Jacinto fan, you're kind of okay with it because almost all of it is on this Xayah. So you're not like worried about the entire team going to be able to blow you up because really once you kill SHPX and kill this Xayah, a lot of the damage from SHPX United goes out the window.
Definitely some very interesting builds on the side of SHPX. The Gnar, Luke Byongo up there going for the Trinity Force variety as the mythic of choice, so a little bit more damage. You are a little bit more okay. That's the flash sweep on to fly away. Victor flashing towards the wrong side of the rift, but it is towards his jungler as Mr. Bacalhau gonna go for the cease and desist on to Pato just to try and protect the mid laner. Fly away now, able to kite back, but Nettles getting a lot of damage out. The Vault Breaker comes through from Mr. Bacalhau. Oh, the Magnet Storm again from Wiggies is absolutely massive. Nyan with the Monsoon as well. Supports using their ultimates. Oh, that's an amazing, the Blade Caller, the Flash. With SHPX able to get one, but sacrifices himself as well. And now Mr. Bacalhau gonna get taken out by the Zeri. Scarecrown still alive. Should be able to clean up this fight. Flashes away from the Gnar. Luke Byongo, though, gets the flash, gets the Gnar into the wall, just needs the satellite to finish off the Zeri and will be able to find it. It is the side of Scarecrown just overstepping a little bit, gets pounced on by the Gnar. And now Nettles and Pirates forced to retreat. A very chaotic fight. I believe that was a 3-for-2 in favor of SHPX United.
It was either a 3-for-2 or a 2-for-2. We will have a replay to be able to confirm whether it was a 2-for-2 or a 3-for-2. We see right there. One is already dead. Xayah dies. So yeah, a great flash to get the Blade Caller off to deal so much damage, but only able to get a little bit off of that. And yeah, I think it was just a 2-for-2 going to finish off Scarecrown and Nyan dying as well. But it was a good look. And I think another weird interaction that wasn't done, Nettles was TPing onto that turret, and that turret had probably 200 HP. So had any of SHPX just looked at the turret and autoed it a few times.
We got it. Nettles getting engaged on my Mr. Bacalhau once again. Riven able to escape, though. Now Wiggy's on the front line. Potentially could get engaged on, but able to remount and gallop towards safety. And this is the Vi build that I was about to shout out a little bit earlier on, but kind of got sidetracked. The Black Cleaver rush into the Radiant Virtue makes you so tanky and gives you so much armor shred from that Black Cleaver. It is a Gnar able to zone away, gets the big Gnar back onto Sejuani as well. Pato completely burst out at the start of this fight. Now Mr. Bacalhau on the chase. No ultimate on the Vi. Means that the chase, a little bit difficult. The flash away for Nyan. Janna able to stay alive, stay safe. And the disengage will work. Only the one kill. But the Dragon also going over the way of SHPX. And now Infernal Soul points. Infernal Soul on the table in just 4.5 minutes. And moving towards the Baron. Do you think they can take this, Pods?
Yeah, the jungler is down. You have 10 seconds, and with this Xayah, you shred through it. You're able to have Luke Byongo and Wiggies play that sort of zoning defense, and I mean, look at that. It's already gone.
Shredded. It's just gone. Yeah, the armor shred on the Vi, plus the DPS build from SHPX on the Xayah. You're absolutely right. They just shred through that thing. And with that, they're able to extend the gold lead to 6,000. And let's see what they're able to get out of this Baron buff.
Objective bounties have been online for a little while now, and one was just claimed by Scarecrown in that mid lane. And I think the taking of that mid turret is so crucial because you open up the map a little bit more. Had it been one of the outside turrets, yeah, okay, that's still good. You open it up a tiny bit, but that mid one is so incredibly important to the future of this game if it doesn't end here in the next few minutes with this Baron push. But we will see 5 men strong for SHPX United in this mid lane, just trying to siege this turret. And yeah, they have one cannon minion just going away at it, but that Janna shield, very effective, at least a little bit, to providing more time.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
But, once the rest of the wave comes in, it does not stand much of a chance. As let's see how long the inhibitor turret survives. Good tornado, gets knocked up onto 2. Really good damage onto both carries, actually. Will force the retreat and the end of the siege for now.
Good amount of defense from Jacinto 6699. Only losing one turret, losing about half HP on the other one. But now, if you're Jacinto, you're playing on the back foot for the rest of the game, because if you let SPX United get this Infernal Soul, SHPX on this Xayah, going to do so much damage with these Feather Storm, with the Blade Caller, Fly Away, is all like, he doesn't look like he does a lot of damage with the items he has, and how far behind he may have been. But now with the Leander's Anguish and that Seraph's online, he can easily chunk you with one laser, with one good combo from him. So he will be a sort of unsung hero in these fights, I believe, whenever this Sejuani dives in, whenever Nettles tries to get something going. So if you are Jacinto, you will do everything in your power to, make sure your Nexus doesn't fall, but
It is Pirates able to glide away. The Pirates lover in chat's got to be distraught right now. Their favorite player really up against it here. And Fly Away, absolutely his counterpart, the Victor, will absolutely be getting out that DPS in those team fights. Thinking about it is Mr. Bagalhu, only going to target the Wolves for now. Still 90 seconds on the next Dragon. And you were just saying, Pods, that this is a must contest. This is a must secure objective for Jacinto. But how do they go about it when you have no control in your bot side jungle?
I think now is the perfect time, because most of SPX United is recalling, they're resetting for this Dragon. So now you need to go in your jungle, secure vision, maybe even try and get some wards in the river, because
Pirates looking for it. Misses the sweep, can't find it this time. Got a couple of really nice ones earlier in lane, but cannot find it at this critical moment. And now no flash, no ult on the Azir. Less than a minute on the Dragon. Gnar without a Gnar bar, though. So Luke Bianco also no access to the ultimate at the moment. Should be able to get that restacked, though, in time for the team fight. As the teams face off. 5v5 stare down in the river. Mr. Bagalhu going in. Gets the season desist onto the mid laner. Pirates in trouble. Pirates taken out right at the start of this one. Nettles now forced to flash away. Gets a kill back with the wind slash. But it's Gnar hopping in over the wall looking for a little bit more damage onto the Janna. And it's on the other side of the fight. SHPX helping to clean things up. It is 3 for 1 already. It is SHPX United way ahead. Scarecrown still alive, trying to do what he can on this Zeri. He's very fast. He's got the electricity stacked up, but just doesn't have the damage. Luke Bianco gonna crunch in there and finish off the enemy marksman. The jungler still alive. Pato, very sneaky behind the Dragon Pit right now. Don't think the Sejuani has vision, though. Gonna go in blind in the pit. Cannot get the steal. Pato will fall. The ace will be completed. The soul will be secured, and SHPX United look to take their first win of the season.
And what's even wilder about that Dragon play, neither junglers use Smite. That was secured by SHPX on this Xayah.
Damage from the Blade Caller, yeah.
Yeah, and
I wonder how much damage it did exactly.
Too much. That's the real question. He's 11-2 sure. On this Xayah, 4 items to his name. So much damage. Yeah, I think we might be able to see that in this replay right here.
Try and keep your eyes on the Dragon HP bar, guys. As it was a pretty good guess from Pato. He was in the pit at the right moment.
Oh,
I couldn't quite see what was the HP on that. Was it 1100 something?
Yeah, enough. And like, I think it was very equivalent to a smite.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but looking back at that fight, I mean, Scarecrown, he got out, and it was a good look, like trying to destroy Luke Bianco there, but his build is not meant for tank destruction, at least not right now. Doesn't have a Kraken Slayer, doesn't have a Lord Doms to his name, but Pato getting engaged on a track repel, really good. Oh, look at all of this CC. Pato just can't play the game. He can't move, he can't right click. They won't let him. Sejuani's gonna go down just in time for Baron to spawn. Pods. It's too clean from SHPX. Yeah, I think that's about the nicest amount of CC chain I have seen in a while out of SHPX United, just layering it on top of one another onto Pato and using that Baron and the Infernal Soul that they have now to shove in this top wave. We have Flyaway pushing in mid. I mean, you have Nettles pushing bot. Maybe you can try and get something going, but you don't want to lose your Nexus over it.
Yeah, Nettles going to have to come back to base to try and help defend. The tier 3 in top lane will get taken out. SHPX has ult, no flash though. They need to get on top of the Xayah somehow for the side of Jacinto if they're going to have a chance. A mid inhibitor turret going to be the next target. Nettles going in, lands Q3 onto the Victor. Siege continues.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at this, what can you do if you are Jacinto? You are lucky that SHPX United is backing off here. I feel like they could just continue splitting this pressure top and mid if they wanted to. But now that they have super minions coming in both mid and top, you can put a lot of your focus towards this bot side. The Elder Dragon spawns in about 3 minutes, so it's still a ways away, but those inhibitors will still be down by the time that comes up. And who knows, you might be able to even force your way into this bot lane, be able to take down the last inhibitor turret that is standing for Jacinto, be able to take the inhibitor. Then you have double super minions, but Jacinto in such a rough spot.
Yeah, I imagine that will be the play for SHPX. We see Luke Byongo already in that bot side, getting that wave shoved in. It's Pirates going in for a big scoop, but it's only onto the tank Vi. Wiggy's going in now for a little bit of an engage on the Rel, but running out of HP very, very rapidly. Here comes SHPX, though, with the massive Blade Caller. Oh, my God, he just shredded everybody. The instantaneous triple kill for the SHPX United team captain. Able to clean up that fight. And now with only Scarecrown on the Zeri left alive, I don't think there's going to be much he can do. Waves already coming in. 30 seconds. 20 seconds on Neon, 30 seconds on everybody else. And it looks like this will be the end of the game for SHPX.
SHPX United playing this game to perfection. Flyaway, he wants more. He wants more kills, but walks into the fountain, pops that Zanya's, and SHPX. I mean, the game might have gone 32 minutes, but I think this game was over around the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, there was some pretty good defense from Jacinto to be able to stay in it, and I will say that the side of Pirates, you know, he probably has some suitors in the Twitch chat for a reason. Definitely found some pretty good angles in that game. Was the reason that they got a good number of their kills. You know, 8 out of 10 kill participation for the Azir, but besides that, it just seemed like Jacinto wasn't able to find much in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I like that call at the very end of the play. At the very end of the game. You see the Vi, presumably by herself, just trying all in her, just try and say, all right, we have to get something, or else we're just going to bleed out. So it's either we force something and lose the game, or we wait 2 minutes and lose the game because of minions. So I love the proactiveness out of Pirates there, because that was one who initially made the play. But I mean, I was gonna say, like, I blinked and all of a sudden SHPX had a triple kill.
Yeah.
I mean, he just destroyed everyone. The 14, 2, and 6 on this Xayah, nearly full build at 32 minutes, just so far ahead of Scarecrown, his ADC counterpart on the other team. And man, it was just so much in the favor of SHPX United the entire game that Jacinto were just slowly bleeding out and could do nothing to stop it.
Yeah, it started early for SHPX on the Xayah, right? Able to secure the first couple of kills in that bot lane. It was Wiggy's really displaying that Rel mastery, especially early on, but later in the game as well, finding some really fantastic engages. And yeah, for that last fight, I saw the Xayah fly up into the air. I saw Jacinto all stacked up in that little choke point, and I knew the game was done. But well-oiled machine overall for the side of SHPX United. Who's your POG for this one, Pods?
Yeah, I think it can't go to anyone else but SHPX, the captain himself.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about like that 14, 2, and 6 on that Xayah, just getting ahead. Now, I will say a unsung hero of that game, sort of person who did a lot of the unnoticed but still semi-noticed work, Wiggy's because you were talking about it, got him ahead.
Thing for him a little bit there,
yeah. You were saying like you got him ahead early on. Those great rail plays, being able to use the dismount, be able to use the hex flash effectively. He was just letting SHPX blossom, and then said, all right, I'm going to watch him just do work the entire game. And he himself still made a lot of good engages, had a few great magnetic storms to be able to stop either the Sejuani engage, stop the Riven Q3s, just being able to interrupt people. And even if he didn't do a lot of damage or stuff like that, was just an annoyance. And was saying, yeah, I'm going to be in your face, I'm going to interrupt you, and you either focus me and then my ADC kills you, or you try and focus my ADC and can't because I'm in your face.
Yeah, it was really well played over on that side of things for sure. And over for J69, the Janna and Riven support and top counter picks definitely had some good moments. Definitely understood the idea behind those picks, but in the end, just wasn't quite enough. Hopefully, Jacinto can come back stronger in their second game and put up a good fight in that one. But that game, guys, will not be streamed. That actually is going to do it from us over here for the live stream tonight. Pods, do you have any closing thoughts on the 3 games we were able to watch tonight?
I just hope everyone had fun.
Oh, I'm sure they did. But that, like I said, is going to do it from us. So it was certainly a very fun time over here in the casting studio. Pleasure being back with you, Pods, after it had been quite a while since we had the chance to cast together.
Yes.
Great to be back here, of course. We'll see you again tomorrow, I believe. There are going to be a couple games as well. Let me see if I can get the times on those games for you. Or maybe production could help me out a little bit because I don't have the spreadsheet open at the moment.
I believe there are 2 games tomorrow.
All right, let's take a quick look here, get that information for you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be Lee facing off against Team Mental Gap, and then they are playing their best of 2. So it will be 2 matches tomorrow, both of which I think that'll be a pretty banger game. Logic had to throw in there that Shirley is mental gapped. So do with that information what you will.
Surely they will be able to overcome the mental gap and get another win. But we'll just have to wait and see. You'll have to tune in for that one tomorrow, guys.
That's right.
But from myself, from Pods here, from the entire production team over here at the Cobalt Wins League, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you for some more Week 2 Season 5 action tomorrow night. But for now, take care. Good night.